watch anything, so we're good.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very professional weekly geek. I am the Clown Prince of Podcast, Tress now, and I'm joined by...
I am the concerned, perhaps, Kirkland Patzer.
Yeah, we'll see. We're talking about tons of fun stuff today. Excuse the live listeners. I went for a swim today, and then I just sat down, and my hair...
I like the look.
Fucking...
You look
What?
gelled.
No,
look
I look
gelled.
like Woody Woodpecker. Look at this. It's one side's up and one side's down.
Well, you
like
look
Cameron
better not on the one, like the big screen, like when you're a smaller square.
Yeah, you
Ooh,
can't
look
see
at
it
us.
with that. But, yeah. No,
This
I
is
like
actually my
these-
new cam, so I might look even better now. I've done
Is
one
that what the red
cast
was?
beforehand. No, this
Mhm.
was
No, it's looking better.
the red.
Kirkland's jerk
That's my.
curtains.
This
Oh,
is
it's
the
just
jerk
that, so-
curtain.
Yeah.
I like the name of that. My
Yeah,
jerk
the
curtain.
jerk curtain. Yeah, they have a bunch of them in England. And then
Yeah.
my mother's just on this balcony scaring me. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got lots to talk about. We got like a bunch of stuff. Like the next 4 weeks, we are, like we talked about before, being very busy and lots of stuff going on. But like this, I got to pull up what I put on the Patreon today, everything that's coming out, and head over to Patreon. I'll do that plug right now. You can get episodes ad free. Every single episode we've ever done is up there. Shout out to John, who became, I have not added you to the list here, but shout out to John, who's become a Patreon producer. I've talked to him. He's got till August to decide, but yeah, shout out to the other ones. Oh, you took him where? Aaron Braden, April
Adding John.
Darkness, Jack Grant. There we go. Jack Grant, Sam, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall, Cocktail Clay, and John, with just no H there. No H
Yeah, I
taken.
know. I
Yeah.
realized as soon as I put it in there.
Yeah, he's doing that. He's gonna think about, because we're gonna do that in August. Because right now he's the one that put in the 1994 year, so we're currently watching a bunch of movies that he wanted us to watch, anyways. So what a double! But no, we thank you and thank everybody. I haven't checked, but I am 99.99% sure this is our biggest amount of Patreon producers, which we appreciate. And like we've said, at the back half of this year and next year, we're gonna be doing a lot more polls that are just for the Patreon producers, picking the content, picking the movies retro, a bunch of other stuff once we get through this 10-year. But yeah, just even this week alone, my goodness. So we got Weekly Geek right now. I'm not gonna say the days because who knows when you're listening to this, but then Dynamic Duo Reunion this week. Myself, Kyle, and Liam getting back together. The first ever spin-off show for
Crazy.
GeekVerse. Yeah, back together. Liam's in person, so we're gonna do an in-person cast. It'll be very fun. Might even be a patio pad. We'll see. Friday, I didn't want to say days, but we got the Fantastic Four predictions. So GV 670. We got Dexter Resurrection episode 3. We got the superhero draft. Me and the Gimmick Boys are doing our GM mode. Season 2 might be the ender. And then for patrons right now, you got our top 10 favorite films of all time as of 10-year anniversary special. And then later on this week, we'll be recording the Superman ranking. So I think you're getting more casts and days of the week. So that's why, obviously, lots of those are on the main feed. But if you want them ad free, go to Patreon. If you want every single episode, become a Patreon producer, because obviously those are all in different tiers. So we appreciate you. And yeah, if you, a cheap plug as well, if you want to join the trivia, it's August 9th is our GV Day 10-year anniversary stream. I think it's 12:30 p.m. PST. You have to like the last week of July, and then we'll spin the wheel. So let us know if you don't know yet. No rush. I'll put another post closer to, but yeah, that's gonna be lots of fun. See what other ways Taylor decides to fuck me over in trivia. Sure it was on purpose, but lots of good stuff. We appreciate the support, and we're gonna talk about Superman. It's only been 3 days, or only took 3 days for Superman to be our third biggest episode. We'll see what happens, because right now it's Sinners and 28 years later. So I'm very curious to see if Supes can do it. I think he's going to. So it was a fun little run to have.
Sinners is our number one right now.
Sinners are number one. You and me. Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Well,
probably
maybe this will be our second biggest episode. Just our two-man cast.
Of
specifically you and me.
course. Yeah, people were commenting before we started, so there's lots of chutzpah going on with this. Yeah, we're talking, this is going to be a very DC heavy cast, because we have the Superman kind of fallout and box office. We have some DCU details that James Gunn and some scoops have put out, and then there was a report from Wall Street Journal about a bunch of stuff from the past and future for DC, and then we're going to talk about some rumored projects. So lots of DC heavy talk. So, and some good Patreon questions too, so look out for that. But let's get into this. I was gonna ask, do you know anybody in your real life that's seen Superman? I know it sounds like a segue to like
I have.
it did terrible. I'm not saying that. I was just curious. So what do they think?
I got a chap that I work with. Shouts out to Kelly. I'm just gonna do a name drop. Why not? He went and saw it late show Friday evening. I gave him my quick little spoiler-free thoughts of it, and he told me 6 out of 10.
Oh,
and like it was like a very nonchalant 6 out of 10. Like he's like, yeah, no, I thought it was 6 out of 10. He's like, I thought it was fine, but like the humor didn't really work for him. Crypto didn't really work for him.
That's a big one.
And I think, I mean, I haven't really gotten deep enough in the lore of his DC fandom, but just the vibes. I think he might be a Snyder guy.
bro.
I think
Yeah.
he's more of a Snyder guy when it comes to just the realism, or maybe that's the wrong word. Just like the dark, gritty nature of the Snyder Superman film, like, which is fair. They're definitely very different in style. But yeah, I think I could have like talked him up to a 7 if I was really like trying to be pro like Superman, like trying to be pro James Gunn, getting him in there. I don't know. He seemed undecided, but yeah, I think that's the only chap other than like Tyler who went and saw it with us. He wasn't on the review, obviously, but he really liked it. Also, he had a good time. I think he would have been probably around my score, maybe a little bit less, but
Yeah, nice.
yeah, no one other than that right now. Which I don't know. I don't know if that's surprising or not. Like I don't have a lot of like comic book esque fans in my day-to-day job or just who I'm coming across. My parents didn't go see it, although I think they would have really liked it, but they're really not theater people. They're more watch it at home type of vibe. But
have they always been that way, or are they not theater people now? That'll go into some of our conversations tonight.
It's like really rare for them to just go see a movie on their own. Like if they tell me, they're like, yeah, we went to this movie, I'm like, what the hell? Like it's usually if they have like a voucher,
Shame.
maybe. Yeah, there's a Shame showing. You know, they rented out a whole theater just to watch Shame. But like I feel like my dad obviously comes to movies with me, but that's like horror movies that Shay won't come with me, and I just
Or Jason.
as long as he's free. Yeah, Jason Statham. He actually went and saw The Working Man without me, which I was really bummed about. He took his buddy who we brought to Beekeeper. He's such a Statham fan. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they definitely don't go with like on their own. But if it's like a big event movie, like the next Avengers, I'm sure just hype will get them interested, and my mom will come to that. But I think the last movie I saw with my mom would have been the Barbie movie. Because my dad and I did Barbenheimer, and then my mom bowed out after Barbie. She didn't want to sit for the 3-hour talking drama. But
that's fair.
Yeah, so definitely not theater people, but I don't know. They're interested enough in kind of like the big movies that are coming out, and it's always fun when they like send me like, I don't know, an article or something about like Superman. They're like, did you see this? I'm like, Mom, like we did a cast on that like 2 weeks ago. Like, come on,
What was the latest article? What was the latest article you got sent?
I'll have to look. What was one? This is like airing dirty laundry. My parents are probably watching this right now. They're probably just gonna be messaging me here. But
Joshua White, look at that. Just got home seeing Superman for the 3rd time. Still just as good. Look at that. Yeah, I just asked because it's been interesting because I feel like everybody. So obviously we did our review. You can check that out. Very fun. We were not exactly similar, but yeah, because what you were like a 9. Taylor was like a. You know, I won't spoil all the scores. You gotta go listen to it. But
you can spoil me.
You were the highest. Taylor was below, and then I was the lowest. And it's funny because then I went on Vodka Stream, and that was like a whole room of mixed people. Everyone I've talked to, oh, there's Taylor Field. You know, just looking
good looking lads.
Yeah, getting a tattoo to ruin more GeekVerse plans, but I digress. Can't say what they are. We got big project plans, something that's physical too. He's like, should I get a tattoo that day? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I'm gonna do it. Anyways, Josh White, yeah, give it a 4 in Letterboxd. But this is what I'm saying. Between even us and then when a Vodka Stream and then our Discord, it's what I said on the review and hashtag Trask told you. I said I don't think it was gonna be like Last Jedi and BVS where it's like this fucking ruined. No, I didn't think that, but I thought it was gonna be a divisive movie. And so far it is, because I just like Mike just saw it and I just saw that, and I feel like there's a bunch of people that are all over the map. And Detail says, I feel like I don't know anyone who thinks it's a 10 out of 10, but also nobody that hates it. I know a few that hate it. I don't think I know anyone that has a 10 out of 10. Even in my Letterboxd, I'd have to check. I don't think I've seen a perfect 5, which is feel like that's kind of rare. So let me just do a quick look. But
I just feel like they took a lot of swings with specifically the humor and just some choices around the humor being like, there's a lot of humor in the movie, but like a lot of the humor is kind of different and like from different angles or like different characters making the jokes. So I feel like it kind of is impossible to hit everyone's funny bone with that, or sorry, somebody hitting on all of the jokes when you go that route. But
absolutely.
that's just my my armchair quarterback theory there.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how the next few little bit, because what we're talking about today is the Superman's box office concerning? Is it in trouble? Is it? I don't know. I just put the headline. Doesn't mean I agree before I see someone jump on my throat. It's a discussion.
Did you
right?
red eye
So,
thumbnail this with
no, I
like
didn't.
James
No
Gunn or
red eye
something?
thumbnail. I liked the thumbnail. It's I don't know if I can share, but
Let
it's
me
like
see it.
yeah, you can take a look. Dave Cornswit's on there, and then in the back, Cavill and Pattinson are looking over him.
I like
you know? Yeah.
Did
So,
you do that?
I
That's your
did do
handiwork?
that, yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
I do the News Weekly Geek now because I was just tired of Taylor like halfway in the cast being like, yeah, I'm still working on it. I was like, okay, well, it's not there. Half the battle of people clicking on the video is a great thumbnail, you know? But let's see. Josh White says the lowest rating I know was 3 stars, which I think is solid. I know a couple people that did fail it. So, but mostly like the lowest ones are in those 3 kind of. I feel like I've seen a lot of my score, which is maybe like a 3 out of 5 and stuff like that. But so it debuted at 125 million. So. What I'm going to do here is, Kirkland, I'm going to kind of rattle off some facts and just a few little things here, and then I'll kind of get your opinion on there. I think you're going to point what I was going to say, but continue.
Well, not to interrupt you or anything, but before you don't have to give me the answer now, but before you finish your next statement, can you remind me what the budget was for Superman?
So it was 225, and then if you
Okay.
believe Variety, like I think DC put out to Variety, so I'm sure it's not exactly true, but they said there was $100 million production budget or marketing budget, which
Like on top of the
yes. So
okay.
a total of 325,
25.
and usually what you want to do is make double, because most of the time you kind of split. It's like a 55 45 or 60 40 with like you split the money with the theater and stuff like that. So that's why the message is always you want to double your budget. So the break even point at this would be about what? That'd be like
For, what was it?
325 times, so that'd be like 650, which is
650
tough
is what we
for
got to
me.
hit.
Yeah, which is funny because I think we were all in that realm. So to give credit to you, you got this one right because you said it was gonna be 120 for our predictions of opening weekend. I said 140 because I let people fucking talk me out of it. Because I remember I did. Travis told you, and there's a couple people in the chat and everything that are talking about this, and I was like, I just don't have anyone. Like my comparison was the Batman, right? I'm gonna use a comparison later that people would either after they saw it or before, like, oh, I can't wait for the Batman, right? Superman, I know nobody in my real life that has still been like, I can't wait for Superman. It's always people, you guys, Discord, podcast related, like a VOG stream, Scott, stuff like that, GUA, or, my kids. I don't know a single person still in my real life that's like, I'm going to see Superman, Or even my dad, who for a while was like, I'm kind of checked out comic movies. When he saw a Batman trailer, I was like, whoa, like that's something really special, right? And even then, it not a huge leap, right? Like Superman opened at 125, and Taylor had 105 to 110. So you beat him, you won this time, and then I won Jurassic World. I was like, for the 3 days, close enough. So Taylor, not on a good streak, so maybe F4 he'll win it out there. But this made 125. The Batman made 134, so it's not like that far away. Like they're pretty within shooting distance. The only difference is with that is Batman did open up during COVID, right? It wasn't the height of COVID, but it was still like the reduced seating and everything like that. They still had like a very short window
and shit.
Yeah, passports and all that stuff. Yeah, tons of people still couldn't even see it. But yeah, some stats where it was open there. It was the 3rd best opening for the year, which, not too bad, behind Lilo and Minecraft. 9th biggest opening of Warner Brother history. Its global was 220, and we're going to talk about that in a second because Aquaman's global weekend, so that's the international and domestic. Aquaman 2's was 108. The Flash was 130. Black Adam was 142. Man of Steel was 2000 was 200. And then the Batman was 258, and then Wonder Woman was 228. So those are kind of the 2 contention points. I'll tell you before I get to the points that I think people are freaking out on. But the 2 contention points, of course, are tons of people doing victory laps in certain fandom because Man of Steel opened at 128. It's very funny because there was a lot of controversy on Sunday morning because a lot of the big websites were reporting that Superman had the biggest Superman opening of all time. The reason is because back in the day when they counted opening weekends in 2013, they didn't count the Thursday night previews. So on all the sites, it's 116. But really, if you look at that weekend, like the same measurement, Man of Steel did open bigger. Before that, a bunch of people were making a big deal, even though, the inflation.
That's so funny.
The inflation to me is the dumbest thing ever. I'm not saying it's not important. It's fun to look at. But the thing is, there's so much that has changed since 2013 to now. And even then, when people bring up that game, it's like, well, then Superman the movie would have been a $1.5 billion movie. Like, it would just, you'd look at Man of Steel and be like, man, what a drop off from that. And like, Man of Steel had not gone through COVID. There's no streaming. Superman's probably going to be on VOD in like 45, 60 days. Like, none of that was Man of Steel. And for everybody that's like being crazy, taking the laps there, to me, Man of Steel, which was successful, still couldn't even, and BVS, hit the $1 billion mark in the craze of the superhero stuff. Like Dark Knight Rises, Avengers, those were hitting $1 billion. Man of Steel, BVS, even BVS, which I don't care. People argue me all the time. Oh, that's not the bar. No, Batman versus Superman, the first movie ever, should have made $1 billion. But of course, even without inflation, Man of Steel did beat Superman. And Kirk, what the concerning part is that the international box office was a lot lower than projected. Because at one point it was projected to be around like a 300 global opening. Because even Taylor messaged me, he's like, "Oh man, is Jurassic World in trouble?" But it went from like a projected 300 to like a 220. So domestic doing pretty well. Because even here's some good facts for you too, people that are wondering how it would be. Actually, I'll hold off on that. I'll get your opinion here in a second because there's some other stuff. But yeah, the international is what's lacking, and that seems to be, if this movie is going to be a big hit and maybe, you know, at least profitable, it's going to rely really heavy on the domestic. Because even somewhere in China, it made like only like $7-8 million. Like China was not digging this movie. There's lots of theories of like, oh, is it too American, or is Superman just, like I've said before, do people just not care about Superman anymore and stuff? So yeah, so obviously there's some good stuff there, like third best opening year. Like there's some good stuff, but then there's also some mess stuff. But then at the same time, this is the last fact I'll give you before I got some other ones. It had one of the, let's see. So that's the funny thing where it didn't beat the Batman, but it's Monday. Where is it here? Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th biggest Monday for a DC movie ever. It beat the Batman. It beat Aquaman, beat Wonder Woman. So it's kind of all over. There's some projections that's supposed to have a very good Tuesday, maybe the biggest Tuesday of the year. Obviously, that's Cheap Tuesday. So right now it's sitting at, I'll get you the total number here. But so it's kind of one of these things where, like a lot of the other movies, we're going to have to see what the other weekends are like. But right now it's sitting at 232 after the first weekend. And it's going to be really about what that second weekend drop off. So what do you think about that? Obviously, congratulations being right on the prediction there. But what do you think about the international? What do you think its legs?
And do you think the international of Man of Steel in comparison?
The Man of Steel global open was 200 million. And then this was
not including domestic?
Like no, that was all together. So everything. Okay. I don't have just the international. I can try and find that out for you here, but I'll find out what was bigger or not.
Yeah, I mean, I am surprised just because to me this feels like the Mount Rushmore hero under the DC banner, and this is like the fresh take on James Gunn's DC. Like this is really setting us off, even though this is already a universe that's been underway with the likes of Creature Commandos and Peacemaker and such like that. But this feels like almost like the first. Well, I was gonna say like the first Avengers film, but I guess that would be the first Justice League. So that's kind of a bad comparison there.
Yeah.
But like just like a big movie in the DC realm that we're starting this journey. So I just thought it was gonna be a much bigger deal. Like I thought like $1 billion.
International though, because you were right on the domestic though. So you didn't domestic. You hit with a bullet.
I mean, yeah, I impress myself sometimes with some of those predictions, but just like the lifespan of the movie, like in the theaters, like I just thought this was like a guaranteed $1 billion. I feel a little bit less so of that now. But like international wise, I think this maybe just like be a good like highlight of like maybe Superman isn't as like special or cool as maybe we thought he was. I just like have nostalgia for the character because that was one of the earliest exposure I had to just superhero characters in general, and I feel like he just like embodies just like the most stereotypical superhero that you would imagine. He flies, super strong, handsome, some white dude. Like it's just like the most vanilla version of a superhero. But I feel like the archetype of what Superman has been just done better. And like I think that's just a case of like the evolution of just storytelling and people designing interesting superheroes or characters, whether that's through like the infinite animes that are out there that have their own superhero type characters, to even something like Invincible of like Omni-Man is a way more interesting Superman to me, you know, just like what that character is.
Wow,
Obviously they're
that's what you
very
want people to
different.
do. You want
What?
Superman to be like that, Omni Man?
No, no. Like he's a very Superman is a better individual morally, I would say, and just as a good guy. But just for storytelling, like it's just more interesting of having a character with way more layers than, oh yeah, no, he's just all good. But I don't know. I don't want to downplay what Superman is, because I think this movie actually did a pretty good job at balancing that. Whether it was him thrown in the middle of like the controversy. I'm not going to talk too much about the movie, but just, yeah, like the controversy stuff that he's kind of placed in between. I think this movie does a good job at kind of making the character feel like he has more layers. But I think what I'm trying to get at is just like the overall interest in a Superman flick, and just, I don't know. I maybe it just hasn't been that long either. Like, but even then, like, what was the time
12
between
years.
Man of Steel? So from Man of Steel to this is 12 years. So
Yeah.
then what would Man of Steel be to Superman Returns?
That was 2016, so that's like 7 years. And Superman
Okay,
Returns was a
never mind.
bomb. Not a bomb. It was underwhelming for them. But even then, you got to
And
think
that was a massive time jump too, because that would have been from the
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve film, right? And then it's
yeah,
like
that was
Superman.
like 88 was the last one. But even then, even
Interesting.
with Man of Steel, you got to think he was still in the zeitgeist as far as BVS was 2016, and then Justice League was 2017, but then the Snyder Cut was 2020, I think, 2021. So it's like
in
there's
that
been
COVID
other
realm.
Supermans around, right? But there's like a big debate too. If like I see people that say it's bullshit because it's the general audience, I see people say it's a real thing. I still almost wonder. Because I don't know where I am on that. I'll just throw out the theory, and like I said, I don't know where I am as far as like the state of DC. Because not counting Batman, Batman was a huge hit. You look at, I don't know, from like let me look at. I'll pull up the DC films that were in the last little bit here, and it's not been. I'm not saying I dislike them all, but let's see. Before Superman, I'll say until like let's go after COVID. You had Wonder Woman 1984. You had Birds of Prey, which I like a lot. You had the Suicide Squad, I like as well. But then you got Black Adam. You got the Batman, I'll say I like a lot. But then you got Aquaman 2. You got Blue Beetle. You got Shazam, Fury of Gods. You got Joker, Fully Ado. And then you got The Flash, which is another controversial one. So that's the thing where I feel like most of these, other than I'd say the Batman, are all like, because even Birds of Prey, there's tons of people that hate that. Like, I think the Batman's the only solid one that people, I would say, I won't say the majority, but a high percentage of people think it's good, or even if they don't love it, they go, oh yeah, that's good, well made, but not for me, right?
Aren't every single one of those movies too that you just listed, other than the Batman, like bombs? Like, didn't they like bomb financially? Like,
Either they lost money or very much underwhelmed, like Aquaman 2. Like, didn't lose money, but was like,
Underperformed.
went from $1 billion to $500 million, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, damn.
Detool says Superman has always been my favorite superhero. I didn't realize how much I was in the minority I was. Yeah, I've liked it more as I got older. But as a kid, I didn't gravitate to those characters. And I suppose brings up a point that I've actually heard no one say, which is a very good point. Man of Steel is getting that Avatar 3D money rub. Kind of forgot about all those 3D movies back in the day that would cost a little bit more. So, yeah, so it's interesting there. But yeah, so for me with this, the international, who knows, could be the America thing, because that Superman's a very American character. It's not like Captain America did any better, right? It could do DC stuff. It could just be that international markets all around aren't that hyped. And it could just be, yeah, maybe Superman, like, people don't care as much. I think there's some stuff as far as it obviously could have been bigger, because I went 140 and I thought it was going to be a bit bigger just with the hype. But again, we're going to have to see what word of mouth does. And it could, you never know. It could have a small drop. We'll see what happens in weekend 2. But you got Fantastic Four right around the corner, and then its legs are probably going to be cut from under it, right? So it's really going to be like, obviously Sinners was a smaller amount, but you got to try and get some sort of good degrees to that type of drop. But I think for me, all I'm hoping for is, this comes from someone that didn't love the film, I hope that they look at this as like a solid start. It's not a fair comparison either, because when I say, oh, you can't really compare it to Man of Steel, I looked at the Iron Man box office today, and that was like 580, right? But very different situation. That was 2008, but whatever, right? I just look at the way that you had that, and then right after you had Hulk, which was like a big disappointment, but they still stuck with it. And that's kind of my hope is, one, WB's been killing it because they released the F1 movie, which is doing, pretty well. They released Minecraft, and I think there's another one of theirs too. So, and this is the other thing I wanted to say, because since I think it's tough, but because of COVID and people just not going to movie theaters, I looked at the last 5 years, and if Superman came out in the last 5 years, in 2021, it would have the second biggest opening. 2022 would have had the eighth. 2023, it would have had the fourth, and then 2024, it would have had the fourth as well. This is something I was talking about on the Vlogger stream, where if you look at the top 10 this year, the top 5 is like that Niza 2 movie that's like at $1 billion, and then it's like Lilo and Stitch, Minecraft at like 900, like Lilo's almost $1 billion, and then Minecraft's like 900 something, and then the next movie down is like Mission Impossible, like 517. Like, I think that's the thing that some people still don't realize, is I think the box office, you're still gonna get those billions every once in a while, but I think it's just always gonna be lower for whatever reason, right? Whether it's this age doesn't want to go to movies, whether it's people after COVID realized, oh, I can just wait at home, because again, these movies still come out super quick. Like even Sinners, this box office phenomenon, they had Sinners, that's another Warner Brother one. It's like still 45 days later was on streaming, right? So it's like you don't have to wait that long till even July 1st, like that, or July 4th, they put it on Crave and Max. It's like it's not that long from when it came out. So that's, to me, that's pretty impressive to be in the. Since COVID, every year the Superman movie would came out, it would have had a top 10 opening. So that's why I hope there's not like a situation where I'm not in the camp where DC should have panicked with. Well, I don't know. I kind of was in the camp when they should have panicked with Man of Steel and BVS. But that's for different. That's for quality, because I still also say, and people disagree with this, I've said many times that I think those movies drove a lot of people away from DC. People go, no, that's not the case because it did so well. I know many people that checked out at DC. Hey, Liam's going to be on the Dynamic Duo. He was a diehard comic fan. After BVS, he was very out. He's like, I'm not digging this universe at all. So that's where it's like, I think that you just got to take it as it's reviewed well. The audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is doing well. The cinema score, which is when they, poll moviegoers, got the same score as Man of Steel and the Batman, which is kind of funny. The two ones that get compared to the most. So I think you just got to look and say, hey, I'm going to assume, like, this is the third biggest opening of the year behind Lilo and Minecraft. That's, to me, like, I think it's just that we're going to have to look at the box office. Maybe it'll recover, but I don't think it's ever going to be like it was like the first 5 years of this podcast. And you just got to look at it as like, hey, we got a winner here, and let's write it out, and let's just hope that the sequel will do a little bit more. And maybe that's a chance where people will see it and like it a lot and just go, okay, I'm going to, be back for the next one, or be back for whatever it is. Obviously, next year is going to be interesting because we have Supergirl. Really don't know how that movie's going to go. I hope that it's budget proportionally, because I've met a lot, or not met, but I've talked to a lot of people that really did not like that Supergirl part in
Buddy at work did not like that at all. And
if it was in the movie, if there were a spoiler, I would say skip ahead 5 minutes, because
it is.
Sorry about
Come
that. Actually, no, they released a photo online, so you should stop. But like, yeah, tons of people, where all of us and other people I talked to, were like, oh, that sold me on the movie, that got me hyped for the movie.
Yeah.
Where some people did the opposite, and that's something where it's just like you're talking about James Gunn's style at the beginning, whether it's comedy or the storytelling. It's very much like the Zack Snyder situation years ago, but this time it feels like it's flipped. It feels like the people that really hated those movies love this one. And I won't say vice versa, but like similar. And I feel like there's people like myself where, man, it's still like, I like, but I don't love it. I have my issues. And that's like this. I like, but I don't love it. I have my issues. So it's interesting to see that it's, how divisive is going to be. I don't, well, all we'll have to be is for next weekend and see what that second weekend drop is, because that's what they have, and then F4 is out. And to me, they got the internal goal apparently is 500 million, which I think they can hit. I think anything below 500 million, I'm not saying you pull the shoot or anything. I want them to stick with the universe.
Just get rid of James after one
his
movie.
Contract's coming up soon, so it's you never know, because remember, he got signed like when the strike happened, so I'm not sure if his contract got delayed.
It's been a long time, actually.
Yeah,
already.
I'm not sure if it got delayed or put on that, or there's an option or whatnot. But I think the tough thing is Supergirl. I don't know how that's gonna do. I don't think Clayface is like a great test. We're gonna talk about it later. I think they're gonna make that cheap, but I don't think it's gonna blow up the box. I think it'll be like, oh, we made some profit on this movie. Whatever that next movie is after those two has to be something big. And I know there's a Lanterns TV show and Peacemaker, but I think those are different levels. And I think, and that's been the big thing now. Everyone's like, oh, they gotta do one of them. They gotta do Batman. It's like, They might have to, some with Superman 2, but if it's something, let's say it is on the lower end, because I think we all were about like 600. I think Taylor was lower, but let's say it is on the lower end. Do you think that they weather the storm and go, okay, let's just see? Zaslav put out a statement. He's like, very happy, great success, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. This guy fucking booted back. Or like everyone's like, look, this is part of the plan. It doesn't fucking matter what these billionaires think if they want to just cut corners. So let's say it ends up like on the lower, like it either just makes a profit or it's a little below. Because right now, again, it's doing well, not doing as well as people were hoping, and it's up to second weekend. Do you think it's a new Warner Brothers, but still Warner Brothers? Do you think they kind of just, okay, let's see how these next few years go, or do you think there is already some panic and they start to maybe pull out some shoots, not maybe even get rid of gun, but just, or even stuff like, well, I don't know, actually, I was gonna say it, but I actually think the Batman's safe now. I'll say selfishly, I was always wanting the Batman to do better, and if the Batman does like a whole 150 million better than Superman, they're not going to touch Matt Reeves'
new
shit.
head of DC.
Yeah. They're not going to touch his stuff. So, but yeah, what do you think if it becomes like a little on the underwhelming side, which is a possibility now? Again, we don't know. Next week could have like a 34, like have a great hole, and then they're gravy. But most of these big blockbusters now usually have a big drop, and even if it's open at 125, and let's say it dropped 50%, that's 60 million. That gets you to just domestically, like somewhere between 350 to 400, and then Fantastic Four is out, and you're kind of stuck,
Yeah, absolutely. You know what this just reminded me of, since this whole episode's just based around DC right now? I found these puppies. Look at these. I should go full. What even was the event? I'm putting on the.
Oh, you're doing that. I thought you were trying to make a Clark Kent joke, so I was playing into it. But yeah, you do got the Batman.
There we go.
Now you just look like Riddler in the Batman when he's like, "Hey guys, I hope you like my video."
Yeah. This is kind of creepy. We'll see if a face just appears next to me at some point. But no, getting back to your question.
If it underwhelms, what do they do?
Just underwhelming, concerned, like that, like. I don't know, itching to pull the chute right now. I think it's definitely too early to do any of that. I don't think the whole weight of the world or the whole weight of the success of the DC universe should be just on this first film. Because, like, I don't know, the first Iron Man was really great, but like comparing to where we get to in the Avengers, like it's just such a stepping stone on that journey. So I think this movie doesn't have to be like $1 billion to just be called a pass or anything like that. As long as it breaks, I don't know, like what was the numbers we were throwing around? Like their internal goal 500. I'm with you. I think if it's just 500, that is disappointing because I mean, basing
I think they're
off of
saying
like trying
that because I think they know they can hit 500, but I feel like that's the nice way of like, yeah, it's 500, but it's really like. I think 600 is probably where it actually is. I don't know for sure, but I'm just guessing. I feel like they're lowballing on purpose.
Yeah, and like in terms of just the second week, I am very interested on just how that's gonna go because as you've already highlighted, just in recent films, a lot of the second week drop off has been pretty significant. And I mean, if you're in James Gunn's shoes or just other people a part of these projects, like I think you're sweating heading into that second weekend.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Like when I heard the initial first week, especially just knowing that was like domestic, I didn't realize how insignificant the international was going to be. But I'm like, I don't know. That seems pretty solid. Like 200 or whatever millions. That's what it was. Right?
It was two. I think 22. Yeah, if that was domestic, they would have been laughing. That would have been like an all timer right there.
Yeah. So like when I first heard those numbers, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's pretty solid. But I don't know. We'll definitely have to wait and see and reconvene maybe sometime next week to talk about it to just see where it's at. But I definitely don't think all of the pressure should just be on this first film. Because I don't know, it's not just setting up. Like it's not like this movie is the whole purpose is setting up the next adventure, but it kind of is like it's a building block for the entire universe of the DC. So yeah, we'll wait and see what's going on. But concerned, not yet would be my answer.
And I was going to say, I'm not saying this for the numbers. Just think of like whatever the 2025 to 26 equivalent's going to be for these numbers, right? But to go back on the winning side, I talked about, Iron Man was 585, but then you got Hulk that came out like a few months after. That was 265, okay? And then after that was Thor at 449, and then Captain America was 370. And then Iron Man 2 was, let's see. So, and even then I'm actually surprised. So, I feel like I've messed this up in my head. Iron Man 1 was 580. Iron Man 2 was 620, still like above the other one, but I thought it was like a bigger leap than that, which is still kind of crazy. You think about that. Iron Man 2 is its biggest one at 620, and then a couple years later, Avengers were going to make $1 billion, right? The trajectory of that doesn't make sense if you look at the way it was going up. It went up by like 60 million. So you would think, oh, Avengers might be like 700-800. You know why? Is because you built anticipation and people liked those other movies. Because even maybe Hulk, a lot of people dogged on in the beginning, but people were generally positive on Captain America and Thor. And then Iron Man 2, I think people didn't care because that was like, people loved Downey, right? So it's like, even though it's known as like a lesser movie, you just love seeing Downey. So that's my point. It's like, I'm not saying it has to be those exact numbers, even though, the Iron, like, Thunderbolts and Captain America are this year rocking those numbers, right? Thunderbolts is 391 and Cap's like 425 or something like that. Like, they're back to MC. So it's like, it is kind of like in the same ballpark. So if you were to, let's say this gets to that, like an Iron Man, like 580, and then even the next one you make, there's more time. David Cornswell will pop off. I think he's a likable guy. All this stuff of coming up, like him on his Qui-Gon like quotes or talk about James Bond. Like, I think he's getting a Glenn Powell-esque reputation where it's like you just want to hang out and grab a beer with the guy, or a Lime Ricky. And Rachel Bos, like, I think all that will help.
It's a guy you want to wrestle in the sand, you know?
I love to wrestle in the sand. Absolutely. I want to be doing the dodgeball,
do some Greco-Roman,
the football scene from Top Gun, you know, shirts off, you know, let's get hard, you know. But
get the One Republic song or whatever.
Yeah, ooh, what a banger that was, you know. That's I just think about like Barbie and that, such summer vibe movies, you know.
Fuck yeah.
That's like you want to be watching with a lemonade. But yeah. So for me, like, and Mike, when you asked that question a couple weeks ago, like movies in the water. Barbie and Top Gun, those are two other ones that, like, just to watch that. But that's my point of, like, stick with it for like just a bit. Obviously, everything could change in a year when Dave Zaslaw's like, hey, we're selling Warner Brothers, and Apple buys them. And they're like, hey, James Gunn, fuck off. Like, who knows? But I say still stick with the plan, and to the point, and I'm happy about that. James Gunn, whether he was telling the complete truth or whether he was lying through his teeth, you stick with the Matt Reeves Batman 2 thing. You go, yep, let's just let that happen. Because guess what? If it's a hit, then your studio's making money. If it doesn't, let's say for some reason people don't want us, like it's been too long since Batman 2, then you can kind of go, oh, you know, like, thanks, Matt Reeves, but we're going to start going our own direction, right? So if Zaslav is cool just to let it play out, hopefully Supergirl budget is fine. And Clayface, I think, will be profitable because I think they're going to make that for like 30, 40 million and release that in October. Done. That's easy. Like, that's a good, like, we'll talk about the plot details later. I'm getting less and less excited for that movie, but I think it will work out for them. And then I don't know if they have, is there a movie after Clayface, or is it just people thinking like, oh, we're going to get Wonder Woman, or, because we got Brave and the Bold, but we don't have a date on that. Oh, they gonna, let's see, where is the announced projects here? To hang on here. Okay, so right now I don't want TV. Get that out of here. Okay, so Clayface. Yeah, so that's the problem. Is it's Clayface, and it's the Authority TBD, the Brave and Bold TBD, Swamp Thing TBD, and then these rumored projects of Teen Titans TBD, Sergeant Rock, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Bane and Deathstroke, whatever. Right, so. I think you kind of, you know, I know James Gunn doesn't want to copy the MCU. I think you kind of copy it where you go, unless Batman and Wonder Woman's ready, and Batman it's kind of tougher because you got to wait to see what's going on with Brave and Bold. I think you do Superman, you got Supergirl, Green Lanterns, and then I say, like, if in 2027, Kirkland, if you were to get another Superman movie, whether that be Superman 2 or a team up movie or him and Supergirl, is that too much to have 2025, 26, and 27? Like all super
What's
projects.
2026? Or you're Supergirl, I guess, right?
Yeah. So I was gonna pitch it. I was gonna say, hey, you should do a sequel right away, like Iron Man did. Right? It was 2 years later, but at the same time, because of Supergirl, I bet Corn Sweat's probably in there. Is that too much super Kryptonian people? Like 3 years in a row, would people kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of done. Like now, I'm kind of walking back that maybe, and maybe that's where you do make sure there's a Wonder Woman in that slot or someone else. You know. So
I think it's just a lot if it's only them, but like. Not to, again, just keep spoiling more stuff about Superman, but, like, there's other, what do they call them? I almost said Inhumans. Demigod.
The Justice Gang?
No, they have a word for just they're
metahumans.
mutants, metahumans,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like there's metahumans in that universe. So like seeing more super people, like there's metahumans everywhere. We're
Yeah.
just I feel like that is something that is kind of already established in this DC universe is like metahumans are prevalent. It's not just like how we were in Iron Man 1 and then like the first time we see Thor, it's like, "Oh my god, there's a god."
It's a god, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
it's kind of
World
well
War II
established.
soldier frozen in ice.
Yeah,
Because
and
if you
then
watch
it
Iron
just
Man 1, it's just a tech guy. Like it's not
exactly.
like there's no aliens. It's just a tech guy. Until Nick Fury's like, "Hey, you heard about the Avengers?" You know.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we go into space and then it's just game over. But
What if I lay this one on you?
okay.
Because as right now, fingers crossed, October 1st, 2027 is when we're supposed to get the Batman Part 2. Maybe what you do as James Gunn is you do another, my pitch is another Clayface type in 2027, do another smaller project, and then hope that the Batman pops off, and then you make your money. Because that's going to be, they've said it's a DC Studios film. There'll be, at least EPs on it. If that is like your big winner for the year, you could take another gamble on a Clayface type, some something like that. And then now my pitch is 2008. That's when you come back with Core and Sweat or whatever he's gonna be doing. You attach a Superman 2 trailer to the Batman, done. That's my pitch. And again, if Core and Sweat is in Supergirl, then you're kind of crossing it off, right? Like you're kind of seeing him again. So I think that's the route is give him a break for 2027, but promote and then, let the Batman, have his time. And then again, you can see same thing, whether it's a massive hit or not, because the same thing, if it's a massive hit, James Gunn hands are kind of tied. It's like, well, I can't really get rid of this, right? I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying if he wanted to. So,
yeah, I feel like that is a good play on their behalf because it's kind of a win-win situation. It's like, okay, if it doesn't do well, then it's just kind of on an island on its own. You can kind of just let it rest there and then focus on your new DC universe, like if you're James Gunn here, but and then as you laid out, like if it does pop off, you could have a Clayface interjection. Maybe that's how we get the transition into combining the universes, but like whether that's Superman, Batman crossover, but like just the tone of the two projects is so on other sides of the spectrum to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like it could work, but like if we get a Superman being more dark gritty, like that's just getting towards the more Snyder stuff. No. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get Batman to be less dark and gritty?
I think so. I think like obviously you haven't seen them, but I think you're definitely getting blue and gray. I know James like I don't know what we're doing. I think you're definitely doing that. I think at some point on the podcast when we do get there, I think just the same way that people say the movie is very much like the Superman animated series. I think that's what Batman will be like. It'll be, because James Gunn says he doesn't want to make like a campy Batman, so that's good to hear. But you also can't go the Pattinson route. So I think you just got to go a bit more lighter and very fantastical. Like whoever the brain bold villain is, Man Bat, Mr. Freeze, like make it so poppy, make it so out there where it's like, oh, you'd never see this in Matt Reeves Batman, right? So S-Bubs, get the fuck out of here. Pattinson, Bruce Wayne learning from Jimmy Olsen. Where fucking drop right here.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
Jimmy Olsen will come up later.
Don't give me started. Oh yeah, he'll come up all right. Detail said we'd be wrestling David Cornsweat like Boromir. Oh, I will. That man's like 6'5". I'm gonna look like a little child compared to him, but I'll let him wrestle me.
Be like fucking.
Yeah, he's Charlton Heston to whatever that guy's name was. Yes. Kim Day says DV Studios is going to have to earn back some trust. Audience, Superman isn't going to be enough. And see, that's what's so funny because I have friends on both sides of that where they say nope. And I somewhat agree where the general audience doesn't know the difference between Marvel and DC. And I agree with that to a point. But then I still agree with if you take that stuff out, it's still Superman. And to my point I was saying earlier, Man of Steel and BVS, I know many people that really didn't like those and were out. So take out the brand, just Superman as a character. If you really didn't like those and you saw another Superman, you might be like, I'm good. Even if it's poppy and colorful, you might be like, man, I really didn't like those last few Superman movies, So I agree with you there, Kevin, where Superman in general, I think needs to be healed a little bit. I'm not saying whatever you think about the movies. Those are, I think, a lot more deeper and a lot more troubled. Not the production or like the quality. I just mean as far as it's Superman 2025 asked some questions, but the Henry Cavill one I feel is way more dire and way more you're not feeling good walking out of that theater, right? Where there's so many people walking out of this that, oh, I felt hopeful. I felt great walking out of this, right? Like what Man of Steel, like very dire movie. They commit a 9/11 at the end, and then BVS Superman's fucking dead. So it's it's like the two movies. And I know he's in Justice League, but he wasn't in the advertising, and he's not in as much. Like both those movies don't have great things, you know. Like same thing. You're watching a man let his dad die for a tornado. Like not a great time at the theaters, you know. Don't think God. Mr. Milquetoast. Am I saying that right? Is that Milquetoast? How would I say that? Milquetoast.
Milquetoast. And then
Is it
his profile picture says for breakfast milk toast. So he's really.
But he spelled milk differently in his name.
He's
on the picture, it says
Francais.
milk.
He's
Frenchman. He's like Maddie, French Italian. I see.
That's not how you spell milk in French, but
it is now. Using the Superman family, referring to what Kirk was talking about, using the Superman family as a through line to introduce all the other metahumans movie by movie would be an interesting hook. It would be as long as the audience is in on Superman, right? Or Supergirl, whatever, like the Kryptonians, because if they're not and you're doing the big storylines there, and it's like, well, people keep missing them because they don't see this, right? It's like when you had the Marvel's end credit have, you know, spoilers for that, but you had Proton or Photon going to like a different universe that had Kelsey Grammer's Beast. And it's like, well, same thing with Thunderbolts, right? Like to an extent, like big stuff happened at the end in the end credits, but that's one of their lowest rated movies. That's the tough thing where it's like, well, I guess you're just hoping that it does gangbusters on Disney Plus and a lot of people see that, right? I'll go back to the very top because I did miss some of them. Supergirl, super bad Mike. So Supergirl is going to be very interesting next year. The source material is not exactly what most general audience friendly. I have not read the book, but I've heard that. I've heard I'm very excited to read it before. I think I agree with you. That's a either or. I think that's a people see it and they expect one thing like Supergirl in, you know, a certain appearance in the movie and they go, ugh, that's not for me. Or it's so different, people love it. It's kind of like Thor Ragnarok. Now, obviously Thor Love and Thunder came out, didn't have the same success and they went too hard, so it kind of turned people off. But Thor Ragnarok, when that came out, that was like a breath of fresh air. That was something different, something new, and people loved it for Thor. So what do you think, Kirkland? Do you think something being very kind of less general audience, a bit more out there, is going to hit with a Supergirl, or do you think that might detract?
I think general audience-wise, it might detract a little bit, but I don't really care. I think they're going to do a good job.
But James Gunn has to care, though, right? Because if that movie doesn't do well, and they say, hey, you greenlit this movie based on this comic book that's a bit more out there, didn't work, what's going on, Jimmy?
Well,
you know?
Jimmy,
what's going
it's
on,
tough for me to say because I don't know anything about
this.
I don't know anything about the source material, so it's tough for me to really comment on exactly what would be deterring people. But like I think they'll still do a good job at making it pretty general in the sense of like anyone can kind of get in there and see it. And I mean, for what I may or may not have seen in the Superman movie, I am very much liking what I got, and it just seems something new and different than what I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
I only have
and I would prefer that
Supergirl project to really compare it to, and I don't think it'll be anything like that.
Well, and even I've seen the TV show. The TV show is very like
CW vanilla is the vibe I get.
But
like
it's also
the most
just very
generic.
like it's the female Clark. Like not exactly. I'm misspeaking because I've not seen the whole show, so I'm sure there's differences, right? I'm sure they have different personality. But the few times I've watched, especially when I watched Flash and Green Arrow and they did the crossover episodes, it was very much like, I am Supergirl. You know, it's like, that's where, like, you're right. Throwing the box office out, I want them completely to do everything with Supergirl because I think making a better film and getting the positivity is the right way to go. But you can only say that until something bombs, right? And then that's when, you know, but again, we don't know what the budget is as far as that. I know Mo's in there and her, but if you look at the rest of the cast, it's kind of, you know, lesser names. So again, if they can keep that reasonable.
What'd you say? Who was the first name?
Momoa. And then Billy
Momoa.
Alcock, obviously. Yeah, he's playing Lobo, right? So he was just Minecraft. He's a name. Buster Barnes. Actually, I'll take an ad breaker here and we'll keep going here. So
I gotta take these glasses off. I'm getting a headache. They're like,
you gonna put the lights back on too?
I will.
Yeah. People tune in the first time like, what the fuck's going on? We'll be right back. We're back. So yeah, thanks for all the questions, everybody. We're gonna keep going because we got lots of stuff. So thanks for the lively chat going on. Buster Barnes, who was here at 129. Thank you, sir. I know you always catch like later or whatnot. Tell us what time zone you're in because I'm not sure where you are. It says this was to the question of is the Superman box office trial for DCU? He, she, they, whatever. Says I don't think so. They just because it's a first project and it's getting great reviews. If reviews were more mixed, I'd be concerned. DC just can't reclaim the audience trust overnight. I agree with that. And the same thing that Mike pointed out in our Discord, where we'll see what Fantastic Four goes. But as of right now, I would say Superman, unless something dire, like a 70-80% drop happens next weekend, it's on track to beat Thunderbolts and Captain America. Pretty good. That has like characters that have been around for a while. That has Florence Pugh, which is a massive star. Anthony Mackie's been around for a while. If Corn Sweat, I know it's Superman, but still, that's a lower brand nowadays as far as like some of the damage that was done to it. That's a big deal. And if it beats F4, that's a huge thing because I don't know how F4 is going to do either. I see so many people talking about, oh, it's going to kill. It's going to, now it's Superman maybe doesn't do the international. I don't know. It's a crapshoot nowadays. But if it can even be on par with F4, that's pretty good considering DC's not done that in a while, barring Batman, right? They continued on. Honestly, I doubt we see any massive box office wins for DCU until either Superman sequel or maybe their Batman movie. Yeah, and even their Batman movie, I'm mixed on because
it'd be like not Batman 2. It would be a new Batman.
No, he's talking like Brave and Bold Batman, like that. Yeah, and that one I'm even mixed on because I still we've never seen that, and that's why I want it to happen because that's another first for the podcast. To have to me, it's different of like, you know, Jared Leto's Joker's kind of around Walking Phoenix. No, if it is, we have the Batman 2, and then 2 years later, Brave and the Bold, 2 Batmans at the same time. I'm very curious of, do people just go, man, I love Batman, give it to me? Or is it like, I got Robert Pattinson, I'm good, right? Like that, I can't, because I could see it going either way. I could see DCU's Batman bomb, or I could just see, yeah, people like Batman. This one's going to be different because it's going to have his son in there. It's going to be more fantastical. So I really don't know. I can't, and it's the same thing, I got to see who they cast, because if they get a really, like, no name, sure, Glenn Powell becomes Batman, then I'm like, okay, now we got a conversation going, right? And he said he didn't really do any superhero stuff. He said the only exception would be Batman. So it's like, to me, if we wake up to Glenn Powell playing Batman, that's why it's like, okay, Robert Pattinson, you might be in a little trouble, you know, because like Glenn Powell and like think about DCU Batman, who gets to be a bit more charming, and Glenn Powell being that.
We should have a Texas Bruce Wayne, like a nice Texas accent. It's hard for me to not see this guy as like a cowboy. I don't know, like I haven't seen him play cowboys necessarily. I guess Twisters he kind of is, but
yeah,
he kind of
is,
Texas man to me.
Yeah, but you know, it would be full circle because don't forget, I'm not sure if you remember this. He was in Dark Knight Rises. Bane beat him up in the bank.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah, you didn't know this?
You must have told me at some point. I'm gonna pull up the clip.
Pull it up and show it up there. Espos says, I'm still recovering from getting every drop dropped on me for the gimmick. Yeah, Espos had a terrible prediction, and I dropped him with every bad one there. Yeah, find that and screen share it. So I got RJ. Hey, RJ, nice to see you. So he says, I think the box office legs domestically are going to be strong. The Monday and Tuesday numbers from this week are fantastic. The presumed numbers, RJ, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yes, if it has that 15 million-ish Tuesday, best Tuesday of the year, again, that shows word of mouth. That's like Sinners. That's like a Barbie, Oppenheimer. That's great, right? And that's what we needed to keep doing, right? Because same thing, you myself who didn't love it, I still, because I don't want Zazoff to wake up one day like, you know what? Let's write off Supergirl. Like, I don't want to live in that world. I want these things, even if I don't love them. Sony, Sony Marvel, no, that's a different story. But this, I liked this way more and enough to be like, yeah, I want to see more of this, right? Let's see, best of the year this far, but there's disconnect internationally. Yeah, we talked about that. I'm wondering why internationally is so weak, and if they can recover over the next few weeks, I'm wondering what they could do to better international marketing. It's tough, right? Because if it is just the Superman's too much with America, RJ, you know this. You guys got some shit going on. You can't, until I'd say another 3 years, you're not going to be able to market a certain way, right? And it's like the tariffs, all like there's so much other stuff. If it's just, and same thing, it's case by case. If it's just people don't care about Superman, that's why you got to hope that Superman, this movie has made people care about Superman and they like Superman right now, right? His last point is, or for now, it says, this seems to be a domestic heavy movie. I think it'll likely finish at 550 to 650. I wish it could end 700, but it seems impossible to the international trends. And yeah, and that's something where the Batman did better, right? Those numbers are right up there, but Batman is, I'd say, that's a tough one. I personally, I know I'm biased. I still personally say Batman's the biggest hero all the time. I know you're a Spidey boy, but what do you think? Not like or whatnot. Do you think like if you just
the biggest like just
Everything,
superhero character.
merchandise, comic book, movie. You know,
Oh man,
I think those are the two.
I think
It's just a question of who's the
Spidey.
top. You think
I think
Spidey?
Spidey over Batman, just for like marketing or in the sense of like merchandising wise. I just feel like he's
Chat,
easier
let
to
us know.
market
Yeah.
for like children. Just like something about red and blue, like bright colors versus just dark and dour and like sad character. I feel like it's just more.
And it's funny that
Yeah.
I think they both have the same because you had Homecoming or Far From Home and No Way Home, and then you had Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. They got the same amount of billion-dollar movies, so I can't even hit you with that. They're both at 2
Yeah.
for the. So that's funny. So we'll have to do Spider-Man 4 and the Batman. So I think it's tough because I think you're right, and I think when you got the younger audience, Spidey for sure, right? But then I think
Yeah.
the older audience go to Batman. So, but
It's so funny. You just reminded me. I remember being like, it's actually the same campsite I'm going in a couple of weeks in August here to see some family. But when I was there, I was like 10, 11, and one of my cousins, my mom's cousin or something, him and I had like a heated debate on, because he's like, Batman's better than Spider-Man. And like at that time, of course, I'm just like peak Spider-Man. Like, I don't know anything about
Yeah.
any other characters
Fuck
other
you.
than Spider-Man. So I'm like, no way, man. Spider-Man could totally kick Batman's ass, which I do believe. You know, of course, he's the greatest detective of all time. So I imagine in a game,
Batman's beating
best
the
of
shit out of
7,
Spider-Man. Oh,
best
yeah.
of 7. You
It's
know,
over.
he's taking it. But
Yeah, all 4 in a row. You know.
and that's me showing my maturity. You know, as a wee young lad, I wouldn't have admitted that. I'm like, fuck no. Spidey would just web him up, and that would be that. But yeah, it's just funny
This is like
that
11-year-old Kirkland when there's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man sucks, Batman is Kirk.
Are you fucking kidding me?
100%. That's how I talked. That's how I looked. I was that jacked as a little kid. But no, it's just so funny that like
What happened?
way back then, I was having this heated debate on these two characters, and here we are, all these years later.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, those are like probably the objective top 2.
Absolutely, and they're the ones that have over time because you have some people like Iron Man that got huge in the last 2 decades, right? But they weren't always that huge. And then to me, you have someone like Superman that look at we talked about the retros. He was the top dog, but then he fell off. And I think Wolverine goes in ebbs and flows, and you got someone like a Deadpool that's all over, or even some like 10 years ago. I feel like for DC, Harley Quinn was like the biggest character in the world, but now
True.
it's like it fits. So it goes in ebbs and
The
flows. but I
Margot
feel like-
pairing, I think, helps a lot,
Yes,
though. I don't think
absolutely.
it's that popular without Margot.
But that's why I feel like maybe even if Batman and Spider-Man have not always been every year number 1, they have the best percentage, right? Like let's say
Yeah.
every year you had, hey, who sold the most? Let's just say merchandise, 10 year, top 10 for each year since since characters were created. I bet Spider-Man and Batman are in them the most. With the other characters ebb and flow, right? So let's see. Hulk was up there for sure. Detail. When I was a kid, the trinity of Marvel was Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Hulk. That was the trinity. Where with DC, it was Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. But Hulk was massive. All the kid merch, party stuff. But now he's dropped. He's not up there, and I'd like Hulk to get back there. But it also sucks that they can't really do a solo movie, right? So
Yeah, they killed him with Smart Hulk.
they did, yeah, which I liked at the time. But
Yeah.
Yark 9 since Superman went box office, not bad. I think we agree with you. I think we're just waiting to see. Milto says the marketing could have been better, to be sure. The promotional tie-ins were good, but the use of the cast marketing certainly aimed for a certain demographic. I think that is a longer conversation, which should seem lots of people. Just strapping Kirkland. Hey, I'm happy all these people are here in the chat. We're gonna get the other topics, but I'm gonna take us on another separate thing. It's still through Superman.
I like it. I'm
How
down.
how much of an impact? And chat, you went to how much of an impact do you think influencers really have? Because I think that's what Miltos is having, saying like TikTokers and all those people where you get tons of the theaters, right? And I think we talked about this before, where there was this report. Well, there's 2. I'm not sure if you heard about this one. Maya Hawke. She was one to direct a movie, or she's directing a movie, and she was casting, and they're like, oh, well, we would prefer, she didn't say who the producer were, but we would prefer you to have people in the movie that have like this amount of Instagram followers. And she was like, that's an awful way to cast a movie. And her dad backed her up on that. And now there's people that are influencers that are in the movie, or they're getting the screenings before the critics. And for me, I've never thought, I'm not saying it doesn't make any difference, but how much it's taking over. And at the same time, I don't know if critics make a difference either. I think we're in a way time where it is just kind of people have less money, people are strapped. I think they go way more off what their friends say, or just kind of what their family wants to do. Because same thing, you have to kind of pick and choose. But I've never seen any, and I don't follow many influencers, but I've never heard anyone tell me, "Oh, I'm seeing this movie because of an influencer." Granted, it might be like a chicken and egg, right? They might have seen it from them, didn't even think about it, and now they want to see the movie. But I think people that are like the whole TikToks and trends and stuff, like I think there's a few ones, those like a hot ones, but even then, like it's tough because it's part of marketing. But I don't know if all those kind of let's get on trends and trick chalks and let's go do a collab with this very famous YouTuber, like. I don't know. Like, if David Cornsweat did something with fucking Logan Paul, I don't think that would have helped this movie. But the companies think that that's like a true thing right now. So, where are you on that?
I didn't even really know that was a thing, honestly, until you just dropped that bomb on me
sucker.
right now. I'm not on the talk.
No,
you know,
not on the tick either.
The talk tick or any of those. I'm adamantly against the talk tick, but save that for an after 9. No, but I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't have any impact, especially just considering how whatever percentage of like young youths or people that are above 20 or under 30 in the age range maybe that are like the peak audience for these types of films. I'm probably way wrong on that demographic. It's probably way higher than that, but like a lot of people are using the talk tick,
absolutely,
you know, and like
so
they know these influencers, yeah, 100%, and like these companies, I'm sure they hire whatever it's called, statics. Oh my gosh, stats experts.
Statics.
I need the static stat. I need that right.
They just like make static on people for some reason.
But like they employ people that is their job to like the science behind gear, like just getting audience on to like.
And we do that all the time too.
Things.
Like not the exact, but we look at our stats all the time, right? And say, hey, what are people into? What are we not? And there's certain, like we've said before, we love doing comic book virgins, but it was always one of the lower things because people don't read comic books. So we loved reading a comic before the movie, breaking that down. But even us as a business have to go, okay, you know, we have to invest our time, right? And same thing, there must be some stats, but just like, I don't know if, I think it's like certain movies too. Like I don't know why. I would believe if you say, hey, we're gonna partner with influencers on Barbie 2, I'd be like, that's the right audience. Superman, maybe it's just because there is a bit of superhero fatigue where people go like, cool, I saw him fly by, like, you know. But at the same time, like I think Dave Cornsweat getting out there being a likable person helps, but maybe that just helps to the point where they go, oh, I'll watch that at home, right?
I think it's also just like as an actor, that's probably what you want to do, right? You want to be seen as like a good person, so people want to seek you out. It's like, oh, you know, that Jimmy Olsen guy, god damn, is he awesome?
So how do you feel about this quote? Michael B. Jordan a couple of months ago said he doesn't have social media because Denzel Washington said if they see you for free on the weekday, they're not going to pay for you on the weekend.
That's such a badass quote.
I think there's some truth to that though, because
that's also like an old-timer type quote. Like,
but it's not as special, right? Like to be back in the day, see a movie star, it's like, oh, they got a movie coming up. But now they got
that's
YouTube,
like
they
saying,
got Twitch.
Like, man, seeing an actor on screen is so special in the 60s. Well, yeah, obviously, but now I can fucking stream all of whatever shows I want on my unlimited data that I have. I could be up in the bush somewhere as long as I have it, like access to internet or data or something. Like it's just easy access there. I mean, there was a time when being on a TV show was like you're bombing your career, right?
Absolutely.
And now there's just so much more money.
Movie actor was like a distinction, you know?
Yeah. So I think there is some truth to that. I think it's more just a badass quote from a badass guy like Denzel Washington. But I think I'm a little bit against the meaning maybe of what that is. And just getting back to what we were talking about with this the impact of the influencers. I mean, I don't really follow stuff like that with the limited social, like I'm on the social medias, but it's mostly just for stupid brain numbing things that I just find funny sometimes. You know, I'll be spamming you with some stupid meme videos here and there. Stuff, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it had an impact. I'm just, because people have these, I sound so old right now, but because people have the TikTok in front of them, like they're just, if they're scrolling and they just see some guy that maybe they follow is like talking super positively about Superman, it's like, oh fuck, okay, that's interesting. I'm interested in that. Or in terms to the Maya Hawke example, like that is kind of weird and grimy and not something I like to hear when it comes to that.
And that's
but like,
something where I agree with Denzel though. I'm on the side of, I don't think people, the influencers, to say, hey, I'm Travis, I got 1 billion followers, go see this movie, that might work. I don't know if it works to go, hey, I'm Travis, 1 billion followers, come see me for this movie because that's literally to pay to see me. Where I can see you, Travis Snell, every day on TikTok doing that. I think the studios are dead wrong about that. That influencers with high follower count will make people go to the movies. I don't think so.
But like,
I
was gonna make what example was I gonna make? What's Jonathan Bailey? Is that the chap's name?
Yes, from Wicked and Jurassic.
Yeah, from Jurassic.
Yeah,
and The Great Bridgerton. I also feel like just like the idea of just people being font. He's no Jimmy Olsen,
no,
but like just the impact of like popularity on like people of just liking certain individuals. Like, okay, what you just said is 100% true. It's pay to win, pay to see when you can just see me on whatever. But like, there's just crazy fandoms out there. Like if Taylor Swift appears in
that's different.
Fucking James Gunn's next project, that's gonna be $1 billion movie just because the Swifties are just gonna be out.
Imagine the Snyder.
Oh man,
Bros,
50%.
Taylor Swift's cast as Wonder Woman. My God,
she's taking a break from singing. She's doing the whole soundtrack.
I said before, I don't want her to actually. Now she's directing a movie. I don't mind if she has, but I want her to direct that movie. But you know what, Wonder Woman, I'd say worst case scenario, get her to be Barbara Gordon and dye her hair ginger, because then there's like a whole different type of look. She could do Kirkland. She could do a whole album with the ginger hair. It would be a full thing.
I'm down.
It would be great.
I'm down. I was very pro her being the Dazzler. I'm not so much that on anymore. I'm more on the Sabrina camp for that. But like seriously though, like if even if it's awful, Taylor Swift just has crazy rabid fans, and I feel like that's a very unicorn example. Like there's nobody quite like her at this point in time. But yeah, I think there is some truth to just like we're gonna get some more butts in our seats if we get some people that people are following in their day to day. I don't know. I kind of went off rails there, but I'm kind of speaking on something I don't know too much about because I don't really have a finger on the pulse with that.
That's fine. Bring up this clip, and then we're gonna do more of these questions.
Yeah,
so this was Glenn Powell. If you don't know this, in Dark Knight Rises,
the clip was longer. This is 48 seconds into the mid 20.
He makes
clip.
a Two-Face reference. There's like, oh, how did you say that? He's like, oh, I flipped a coin.
So he starts. He's getting like his boot shine or something. I just thought that
we'll go again. RJ says it's not bad, it's not good, it's solid, it's a slam dunk home weight success. It's good. It's got to have good legs. Right now it's just a double. I agree it's a double unless it has like a 65% drop next weekend. Then he got struck out on third base. Like second weekend is very, very important. So we'll have to see. Oh, Milk Toast, this question. A couple years ago, we got animated Crypto. Now we got a Superman movie. Soon there will be a Supergirl movie. When are they going to take another crack at Steel? Again, shout out to our Patreon. Remember
that's Shaq, right?
That's Shaq. Don't say no. Hang on. For you, that's Shaq. He is a very legendary Superman character, but I think
that's the one source material I can pull from.
I think if the trajectory continues upwards, I could see it within the next 10 years, because when we're talking about more Superman projects, that's another one where that's like another meta human type that you're talking about, Kirkland, where you can introduce somebody.
Is he prevalent though? Like I just feel
sometimes he is. Yes, sometimes he very, especially in a storyline. One of the biggest storylines called The Death of Superman, and then a bunch of people show up to try to take his place, not as like a power struggle, but like I'm going to step up in place of Superman. That is a big deal for him. So there are storylines like that. So I think it's successful. I feel like that's a character James Gunn would like to do and kind of redeem. I'll say, what are we in 2025? So barring no, world crisis or another strike, I feel confident saying we could see that within the next 10 years as Steel. How do you think about that? I'm not saying a Steel movie. I'm saying Steel the character.
Yeah. What was your percentage? Or no percentage? Just
I said within 10 years.
Yeah, I could see it.
You feel iffy about that, though?
I mean, we'll see if James Gunn's still around, in a couple weeks.
Well, hopefully in DC. Hopefully he's still around,
Yes, true. No, I hope he's living strong and healthy.
That, you're like, I hope he's still around, because you never know what's going to happen.
I'm like, yes, hopefully there's not an accident on July 18th. But,
Yark says, sorry, go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I see nothing. You
Okay.
keep going.
Yark, excited for Supergirl because she's gonna fight Lobo. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I think that Supergirl and Jason Momoa just gonna. Lobo is just Jason Momoa in real life. His personality. I think that's gonna be tons of fun. I think the same way people said they walked as Superman with hope. I think Supergirl, funny enough, it's not directed by James Gunn, could have that Guardians Thor Ragnarok where people come out and just like, man, that was a great time. Even if it's a bit more of the heavier side, I think they could. So I'm excited for Momoa's Lobo.
I'm excited to hopefully get a great Momoa performance again because it's been a little hot minute for me.
It has been a minute. Minecraft was not it. He
I
definitely.
don't think I'm gonna do that to myself.
No,
your video you shared of the great. Who was that even?
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
Second greatest Canadian wrestler of all time.
Canadian. I didn't know that.
He
That's
is.
cool.
He's from Winnipeg. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. He feels like he's kind of in like a cash-in mode. Like he's in the Street Fighter movie coming up next. Have you heard about this?
I probably did, but I forgot. I wiped it out of my memory.
Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are also in it as well too.
I'm there.
Are you?
Let's go.
Fuck
yeah.
Well, I'll ask Taylor and Dylan because I doubt they'll be into it. The gimmick guys were like, "Well, that should be our first debut of GV episode, so maybe they'll join us."
I don't want to.
No, they said they'd like to join because I said, "Well, I'll probably be alone, but if you want to be,
I would be there. I think that sounds
perfect.
Fun. Barring timing. Hopefully I'm not on a different continent.
He's killing
or
James Gunn
like
or something like that.
Yeah. I'll be back, guys, in a couple weeks.
Taylor Swift is Wonder Woman. What'd you do? What'd you do? Warner Bros. Next big film's Dune Messiah. Yeah, they got. Yeah, I wasn't talking about Warner Bros. Just talking about DC, what they got going on. Universal Pictures will bounce back with Wicked for good. Yeah, I think that'll be a hit. People seem to like Wicked a lot.
I saw your letter box score.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I actually watched it the first time. I'll wait for Thursday though when we do what we've been watching and talk about that. Yeah, Superman Spike says the last time a DC movie beat Marvel yearly was The Dark Knight, 2008. Kirkland. That's
a hard one to beat. So good for them.
But still, which sucks because they even had like Joker, which is $1 billion movie, and still, because the same year Endgame came out.
Oh fuck!
It's like we got it, and
they brought their heavy hitter for that one, and
brought a clown to a gunfight. So that is crazy. The Dark. That's 20.
That
so
is
we're almost
fact.
on 20 years. So yeah, I'm kind of pulling for them. Don't get me wrong. I hope I like Fantastic Four. I've never been an F4 guy, but. It'd be nice to see. Kevin says Disney will bounce back with Fantastic Four, Predator, Badlands, Zootopia, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Honestly, Kevin, I say you could just say they'll bounce back with Zootopia and Avatar. They don't even need Fantastic Four or Predator, Badlands. I think Predator, Badlands is gonna make like Alien Romulus money, where it's like 150 and F4. I don't know. We'll wait.
Pretty cheap though, right? With Predator, Badlands.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I thought you meant F4. I'm like, no, there's no cheap Marvel.
Yeah,
movies,
no, that's.
Yeah. So Sony Pictures will bounce back with Jumanji 3 and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah, I think so. Yark says Supergirl, not some female Superman. She's superhuman, but she doesn't value humanity. Okay, cool. D-Toll took your argument on Spidey #1. That's okay. I'm going to ban him from the chat for a little bit.
No.
Milk Toast says, without Superman, there'd be no superhero genre. Absolutely, yes. 78 was a big deal for that, right? And go back on our Patreon. We reviewed all those. We're doing a ranking. So, RJ, I thought you were going to cop out. He said they're my top two, or the top two, but then he says, I think Spider-Man is slightly bigger than Batman right now, but they're almost equal footing. Yeah, I guess to say right now... Because even then, what did Homecoming make? I just want to see what was Holmes' first Spider-Man movie, box office, versus
over half
the
a
Batman.
billion. Easy.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Don't get me wrong there. It made, okay, so no, even then, that made $880 million, and the Batman made $770. So, yeah, I'd say right now, and I also think that helps with Tom Holland. I think he's another celebrity people like. I think people like Robert Pattinson as well, but, like, Mickey 17 didn't perform, right? So it's not like people are dying to see.
It's also just like the age demographic that those films are geared towards is like Spidey is for all family members, like it's
absolutely.
Kids eat that up, whereas like are you bringing your family to Batman,
especially
and the
this
Riddler?
Batman?
What are you showing me? That's what your kids would be asking you.
Oh, I know. And even though they were like still darker and more talking heavy and crime heavy, the Nolan ones are way more, because the Nolan ones feel more like a big act. I could see people like, oh, this is a big action movie, where the Batman's a crime thriller. That's not everyone's bag, so
Oh, yeah.
Milito says, strictly speaking, there are 4 comic characters who are the most recognizable worldwide: Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and Archie. I get that. Archie, you're right, but he ain't clocking no $1 billion. He ain't. I don't even know if he's clocking half
Taylor
a billion.
Swift's Wonder Woman's beating the shit out of Archie. Let's be honest.
Absolutely, longevity must be taken into account. Superman has been around 87 years, Batman 86, Spider-Man 63. The longer a character is around, the more impact it has. Absolutely. More impact. I think like harder. I was gonna say I don't know if Superman's showing that, but let's see here. Anything relevant here? Okay, Superman Mike says, I feel like an actor name recognition has gone down a lot in the past few years. Most people I know would have a hard time naming an actor who gained prominence in the past 5 years. Absolutely. And I think we've seen now that, to me, it's not so much like, oh, I'm going to go see the Ryan Gosling movie. I think it's, oh, Ryan Gosling is in Star Wars. Cool. I think it's big brand and popular actor put together, where one without the other, it's tough because Star Wars, like you look at Force Awakens, that was different, but you still had like a bunch of, I'd say, no names in there. But I think that's what it is. You need people paired with the right property. But like,
for sure,
like look at Fall Guy, that bombed last year, right? So that showed us right there that people won't just go see, but Ryan Gosling and Barbie, one of the biggest movies this decade. So
yeah, no, like I was gonna say, like, there definitely is still names that even general members get excited for. Like, I feel like Pedro is in like a really good run right now. Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Of like people that aren't necessarily, I find like they're watching all the projects that, oh yeah, Pedro, oh yeah, he's in this project, or Last of Us, yeah,
Pedro's though, right? Can he get
True.
a blockbuster now? Can he get to that level of being the guy, And I don't know, because Last of Us, I think that's a big reason why that show went down rating wise, because he's gone. And
he got credited for 3 episodes. Is that true?
Yeah, and he got nominated for an Emmy as a lead for that. It's some fucking crime right there.
Good for him, man.
I don't know. Yeah, good
He's
for him.
Game in the system.
Let's see. Age of the movie star seems to be in decline. Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Davis says, when do you think we'll get the Mandalorian movie trailer will come out? So that comes out in May. If it's not out before, 100% on Avatar in December, I think. Avatar, biggest movie of the year, probably.
I was thinking winter months. December feels late for, like, I guess not really.
January, February, March, April, May, 5 months. Yeah, maybe you get a teaser before, but the full trailer's on Avatar.
Didn't Superman take a long time to get a trailer drop?
No, Superman did. Superman. That some people criticized that took very the in between was very short. So I feel like with Mando, you take some time to let know, but I think no matter what, there's gonna be at least a trailer on Avatar.
Yeah,
everything's gonna be on Avatar.
To the very least, I agree.
Gonna be fucking Cat in the Hat on there. Watch that 10 times. Oh my god, people, give me the one here. Have you seen the fucking Cat in the Hat trailer? I'm so fearful my kids are gonna ask me to see that. We had to watch that Superman. I was like, I looked over you.
God, what are you showing me? Come on.
There's some of these you just look, you're like, oh fuck, this is gonna be a
funny.
bad one.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it. Well, it must have been Jurassic
I hadn't either.
World.
Yeah,
was it Jurassic World or Superman? I can't.
Superman.
We
saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, what even is this? I'm sitting next to Taylor. He's like, oh, Cat in the Hat. And just by his tone, I'm like, oh no. Like, it's kind of reminding me of the latest Grinch. Like, it's definitely not the best Grinch movie, but I still enjoyed it. But then I'm watching the trailer, and man, I just saw my bar and my hype going down to ground zero.
It was brutal.
It was very brutal.
What is Bill Hader doing? This is the first thing after Barry. And here's the thing. I didn't love that Grinch movie. I think it's just like a solid 6 out of 10. But even the trailers, I was like, oh, this looks good. This can't happen. If the trailers are looking bad, oh no, what's happening here? hang on. S-Pub says, at the early screening of Superman, they played all trailers, went to video saying, welcome to the screening, went to black, and then it was Cat in the Hat trailer. People booed. Oh my god, that's great. Yeah, so it's funny, Kirkland, you said we were expecting a thank you to James Gunn. Apparently on the early screenings they did do the Tom Cruise thank you for being here for Superman and stuff. So they did get it. We didn't get it, but
we gotta film one of those, like, even as a joke.
We're gonna. I got a project for it. That'd be project. Well, I can't. In a couple months, I'll say why it's delayed.
Yeah. Prompter too.
Yark says they're tired of the death of Superman. Yeah, I don't think you do, because I think they just did that in that Lois Clark show. Obviously, Snyder did that. I think you stay away from that for a bit. Kind of like Dark Phoenix for Marvel. Like, give it a break,
Do you think they're gonna do a Captain Marvel thing with Superman, where he's just like, I gotta go, I gotta do space threats, and that's kind of what, like, it's different than him just dying and resurrecting.
Like, to keep him out of certain threats.
Yeah, like if we're a couple movies into this new DCU and like why is Superman just not here? And it's like, oh well,
No.
he's doing Wonder Woman's or sorry, Captain Marvel
He's
stuff.
doing Wonder
and
Woman. He's doing he's doing Taylor
he's
Swift
with Taylor
stuff.
Swift.
He's fucking Taylor Swift. Sorry, Lois. I think because the on not the unfortunate, but the issue you have with him is he's right now the main character where Captain Marvel wasn't, right? She was coming on the tail end of the Avengers. It would have been like if Downey right away was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be off
We'll
planet
give it
for
some
the
time.
Endgame."
Give it some time.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know,
also you got to
couple years,
remember, minor spoilers. They've made this Superman a lot more depowered than other Superman, so I don't think he's as
True.
godly. I think
We were
you can
shit
take him
talking
down.
on the review.
I was shit talking, but I was pointing out there
Taylor
some,
was.
he
shit
was,
talking.
yeah. Oh, millennial Superman. Let's see. Kevin Day is off topic. We'll answer. Do you think Elizabeth Olsen, Chris Evans will make an appearance in Doomsday? Yes, on Chris Evans. Olsen, I'm iffy on, but I could see at least an end credit. So I'm just gonna say yes for both for now.
I'll say yes.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Do you think Letitia Wright's going to be Black Panther going forward? I do not. I think she's going to hand it off to whoever I think they're going to work in this is T'Challa from a different universe, and that's how people won't get mad about Chadwick. So I think if you get a Black Panther, I don't know. Because do you think it will be still Black Panther?
Like off screen, she handed it off. I think
No,
next time we see her, she's still going to be Black Panther.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, I agree that it's just a question of when we get to Black Panther 3, will she be the Black Panther?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because like, why set up Baby T'Challa if we're not going to make him Black Panther eventually, right?
Yeah. That or a multiverse one, so I agree.
Yeah.
And then Milk Toast says a Star-Lord-esque Superman adventure could work well. Yeah, I'd be down. We've not gone
With Gramps.
I don't know if we need Gramps, but we've not gone like a big Superman in space all over, right? So, and I know people want Brainiac, so
Martian
maybe that'd be the
Manhunter.
way to go. So, yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's take another ad break. We got some questions, and then we're gonna get to other topics. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So some
Topic
questions.
Number one. God damn.
Yeah, that was topic number one. Thank you. And we're still talking about DC and Superman. So if you got any more questions, hit us up with there because we're still talking about some DCU stuff. But let's see. So Charlie Rendell says, "Is Nicholas Holt's Lex the best Superman movie villain we've got? Also, how would you compare him to the DCU villains?" For Superman, for me, that's a easy yes. I can answer that because that's in the rankings. Easy yes because I don't love Gene Hackman, don't like Eisenberg. The only one that gives him a run for his money is Michael Shannon as Zod. But I'm not gonna say the motivations, but the motivations of Zod are supposed to be simple, right? It's like, hey, my planet died, I'm gonna bring it back, and he's very straightforward. Lex is still also very straightforward that he hates Superman. I think I just love the lengths of how much he hated him, so I would give it to that. And then for DCEU, so that's all the Snyderverse stuff. I'd probably have him number one. I'd have to take a look at the whole roster, but
he never faced holy fuck, what's his name from Zack Snyder's universe? What was the main villain of the Snyder
Eisenberg.
Cut?
Oh, Darkseid.
Darkseid. He
Yeah,
never
we
faced
never got
Darkseid,
there.
right?
They
He's
just
always
teased
in the
it.
shadows.
Yeah. So
And then
Steppenwolf was good.
Steppenwolf, yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
And then in BVS, what was the big bad's name?
As Eisenberg and Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah,
just
I'm not talking about Eisenberg. Okay, no.
Okay.
If
You're
I'm talking
talking
about
about
Lex
Doomsday,
here,
though?
I'm talking about Gene Hackman or Nicholas Holt. Just to shoehorn my way into your answer, Gene Hackman is nostalgia for me. Like, I just love that character as a kid. That was my first exposure to the character of Lex Luthor, and now that I've seen Nicholas Holt. Shouts out to Brandon. God damn.
Yeah, go check out our shame review.
Yeah, go check out the shame review. Like that'll always just have a special place in my heart.
Of
but
course,
yeah, I was shit talking Mr. Nick at some point in time, but
Yeah.
here in the bag, he did a phenomenal performance, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think I didn't love certain things that the character was doing, but for performance-wise, and just as you said, just getting that like pure hatred out of like this man is like just a super billionaire. Like he doesn't have to be going out of his way to just fuck over Superman, but like
Yeah.
that is just what he's chosen to do. Like fuck this man.
That's what Taylor's doing to me pretty much all the time. Like I'm Superman.
Yeah,
Taylor's
I got
Lex
tattooed
Luthor.
that day. No, yeah,
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, things
I
we've
booked
been
it
planning
last
for
minute.
3 months. Yeah, I can't. I got a tattoo.
So Nikki would definitely be easily
Don't call him Nicky. Don't call him. His name's Nicholas.
Nikki
or
Holt.
Nicky Ho. Superman says Michael Rosenbaum is still top ex Luthor for me. I gotta rewatch Smallville.
that?
It's all on
Oh,
Prime. So
Smallville.
yeah, I can't say you're wrong because I need to rewatch it. I think that I don't think you're wrong because I think he has. I wish Holt at times had a bit more, a little cooler, because there were a couple times where he went really heated. Don't get me wrong, I think he's great. I don't think he's on the Mount Rushmore. I've seen people making that argument of like comic book villains in general. I don't think he's that high, but yeah, I need to rewatch Smallville again and see because. But I love Holt's approach. Where Rosenbaum, like they start as friends, him and Clark, and there's some revelations. I do like that, but I do like a Lex that's just fuck. I hate this alien. I'm gonna do anything to get rid of him. You know,
Yeah.
so.
So yeah, I think he's definitely up there, but I did really like the Snyder version of Steppenwolf. Although we never got there, I liked what was shown with Darkseid, but I'm not really going to throw that in there because he didn't really face off with Superman.
No.
Yeah, Michael Shannon with Zod is just phenomenal. I absolutely love that performance, and like I don't even know if this is a good answer because I don't remember too much about the film. It's been so long, but like I thought Apocalypse was kind of cool, or Doomsday, whatever the fuck his name was.
Doomsday.
I'm energetic. Yeah, I'm crossing
He's
over
only in the
this.
third act, though. He's just a fighting machine. That's all he does.
Yeah, you're
you know?
right.
The other one I think you might be forgetting, my favorite of the DCU, Ewan McGregor's Black Mask and Birds of Prey. Fucking
Oh, okay. Yes,
brilliant
absolutely.
in that movie.
I was
so
thinking
much
like specific Superman villains because that's what I thought.
okay. But he just
So
said
I guess
DCU
the
universe,
last sentence
so.
I kind of forgot about that. So
Yeah.
my bad, Charlie. But yeah, definitely Black Mask. Very underrated villain overall. Like
Yes.
I don't know if just not enough people saw that movie, but
No.
like so terrifying. On that dinner scene when he gets that lady to
yeah.
like jump up on the table and dance, like just terrifying. Especially this Ewan McGregor, and he's like Obi-Wan, the most likable Jedi, and then you have him as fucking Christopher Robin. That's like the most
Christopher Robin the
wholesome
year
movie.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Get on the fucking table now.
Yeah. I gotta get that poo drop. I always love it. Poo. I don't know why. Milk Toast says, regarding the Snyderverse, I feel for the fans that will never get answers, certain dangling plot lines, those movies, The Flash, believe or not finishing stories, is bad writing. I agree. It sucks, but like, that's life, right? Like, I hate to be that guy, and it's just because it's on a bigger scale, but it's like, how many TV shows have we all loved that got canceled? How many, you know, books? Like, it happens to us all. It's different. I think I do feel for them, but at the same time, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, and many of them know this. They've said this themselves. They should be very lucky they got the Snyder Cut because that was I don't care. I think a 1 in a billion shot. If COVID doesn't happen and HBO and WB doesn't need content, there's a chance that thing's still sitting on a shelf fucking somewhere. And all we see of Justice League is the all we see of Justice League is the Henry Cavill like mustache and Ben Affleck being like, "Oh, I am bleeding some places." Like all that terrible shit remember when Martha Kent goes to Amy Adams after she lost Superman and she's like, "Yeah, and Clark always said you were thirsty." And then Amy's like, "Oh, like for the story, for the news." Like they are be so lucky that happened. They're like the Donner cut for Superman 2 took decades to get. So that's why I do feel for them. At the same time, they got a massive win. They got to finish like what they wanted the most. Now, some of them, got a little greedy because now they want it restored. They want a Man of Steel 2. They want the Bat flick, but it's like, that's gone. It's over. Sorry. The world has moved on. But so I feel for them a bit, but they got some good stuff there, you know? So All right, let's move. Oh, GodLoves69. This is another question. If you had to live in the DCU or the DCEU, based on what you've seen so far, from which universe are you picking and where in the universe? I.e. Gotham, Metropolis, Madagascar. As of right now, I'm definitely picking DCU because the DCEU felt very dark, and like when I got Batman going around branding people, helping them get murdered, like, and I think I would be picking because up until Superman, again, minor spoilers, they say at some point in the movie he loses a fight, and they say that's the first time he's ever lost a fight. To me, that's like, well, pretty good odds, I think, right? Like that's at least a few years. It's just like bad guy shows up, he's kicked some ass. So right now, DCU definitely that Metropolis. It was, Daily Planet got a lot of good looking people in there, so that always helps. So yeah, definitely that one. I'm going nowhere near the DCU. I'm going fucking Jared Leto's Joker running around? No, I'm not saying because he's dangerous, just because I would be annoyed the whole time. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm right there with you on the DCU. Um, DCEU just sounds like a terrible place to be stuck in,
Yeah.
and then you get that like
Black Mask,
flash
you have to dance with
forward
him.
like demon sequence where it's like, is that where is that where we're
Oh,
in and out?
right, the
Like,
apocalypse. I think so. Yeah, the one
Yeah.
Bruce keeps dreaming about, where Superman is the like God ruler. Yeah,
yeah,
Not
no, don't want that. So
No.
DCU, definitely not Gotham. That just sounds like across the board. That's just never a good place to be living. Is in Gotham. I would hope rent's very cheap there because it just seems like an
has
awful
to
place
be.
to
That's the
live.
only way they keep people.
And you made a great point of just like the good percentage success rate for Superman kicking ass. And then we also have just like a wild bender of a Supergirl running around in this universe, which is like, hey, you know, I could probably fix her.
Oh, Taylor wants to be there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Taylor
In this headspace, of course, you know, I'm a single man in this universe,
Yeah, of
so maybe
course.
I'll be shooting
Shay
my
died
shot.
due to the kaiju that Superman lost to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get over my loss. So I'm in some bar, and then you know this chick comes in kicking ass with a leather jacket and a dog, and yeah, that's probably what I'd pick. Not Madagascar like he threw out there. I do appreciate the examples that he listed, but
Taylor showed one picture of like someone took it in the theater, and he like, oh, fabulous, and then he hit us with like 8 other pictures. Like, okay,
Oh,
calm
yeah.
down. I know
It's like, what are you
Madison's
doing
gonna
right
be
now?
doing for Halloween. Yeah,
what are you doing?
And
Don't
then
message
plus-
me while you're doing stuff right now.
Yeah, but like Rachel Brosnahan's Lois, you got Isabel Mercedes Hawk Girl. You know, there's a lot of
David
and
Corn
again,
Sweat,
David Corn
beautiful
Sweat.
Superman.
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen. You got him running around. Alpha Cock apparently in that movie.
Yeah, that's
so-
like that's like peak male like physique, I guess, in
got
this
it.
universe.
Yeah.
I like my odds. I think I would do well.
Superman Mike says, I'd still live in Canada and DCU. No one ever attacks Canada Superman movies. I don't know, does Canada
so
exist?
true.
I wonder if they do.
It was wiped
but-
out by Superman when he first came here. That's where he made his Sanctum or Fortress
Yeah.
of Solitude. I always call it Sanctum as Sanctorum for some reason.
Poor Doctor Strange. Milktoast says, George Reeves' Adventures of Superman universe seems a pretty good place to hang out. Yeah, that's a black and white aesthetic and everything, you know. Let's see. You can have Superman lose a couple fights, but don't have him die for no reason. Well, I hope. I hope he doesn't die for no reason. That
One
would
day,
suck if they
his heart just fucking blew up.
we get the crawl text for Justice League like Superman had a heart attack and now
Yeah,
Supergirl's
you know that
like-
radiation that was given, his solar radiation that was giving him
Yeah.
his powers? Yeah, super cancer is actually what he got.
which is kind of crazy because I say that, but like we lived in the universe where we got episode 9 and it was just like Emperor Palpatine has returned with no
Yeah.
explanation. Just so you know, movies can do it. They get desperate enough. So
True.
all right. Speaking of DCU, we're still there right now. So DCU, we had an article come out kind of talking about the past and the present of DC. So I'm just going to hot fire shoot these out because obviously we're running a little longer here. But so this report had DC's new plan, or just plan with the Justice League, is what they want to do is they want to reestablish, which funny enough, we're talking about the box office, given the chance. They want to reestablish. And one other point, we don't know who is in the Justice League, but they want to reestablish those classic characters on their own, kind of prop them up before they get to Justice League. So maybe not a rush to a Justice League. They kind of want to, you know, maybe not make you think of Ezra Miller as the last Flash. You know, maybe get like a nice, brighter Batman out there versus Passer and even Batflick, right? So that's something. At multiple times, not multiple times, but in different times in the world, The Rock was one of Dave Zaslav's picks to run DC, but then Black Adam did not do well, so that didn't happen. And then apparently, at some point, they did make a approach to Kevin Feige to try and poach him over, but that didn't happen. And then we did learn of some different spin-offs that were canceled throughout the years. One spin-off was going to be a Robin movie set in the Nolan universe. We don't know if that was like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or just a Robin. And then the other one, when we talked about this years ago, but it's been not official because I didn't say this, but the Tenoshi Coates Superman, which was going to be about Black Superman, this was the quote from the article, was canceled because Dave Zaslav found it too woke. So they got rid of that. So
Attaboy,
yeah.
Zaslav.
Yeah, so I hit you with a lot here. The Justice League plan, The Rock, Feige, all that stuff. So you need a reminder, let me know. But yeah, what do you think about this? And we're going to talk about more some of the Wall Street Journal stuff. But this was a bunch of stuff just kind of sifting through all the shit in there, you know? So
Oh, there's some shit in there for sure. I mean, the idea of The Rock just leading DC is like I don't want to see what that would have been, but like I'm also so curious of like what the first 5 projects would have been under the Rock.
Just as sure as The Rock is covered in chills already.
Well, you don't want that
before
guy?
every movie, like before, is he just gonna come out and he's like, "Are you guys
Thank
fucking
you.
ready?"
Chills. Yeah.
All right, now everybody enjoy your Zoe and let's.
You
fucking
didn't want this
go.
guy running.
You can feel the mana.
Like, of course I do because I'm just a crazy man.
Did
but
you?
Like,
You wanted this psycho?
Chills.
that
I'm
would
joking.
be so
I'm joking. He's
entertaining.
not a psycho.
Obviously, come on now, that would be so hilarious.
It would have
to,
been
to
wild.
unpack that. But like for a true, I don't consider myself a purist, but for lack of a better term, as a purist of the superhero genre, I definitely don't want that because I didn't think Black Adam was a very good film, and yeah, he was obviously he had all of his fingers in all of the holes of that project, and
Made a big play to get Henry back. Remember there was that whole thing, which I respect. I think that was
Definitely.
the right move. But
And, like-
then no one showed up.
and like. Not even memeing, like I understand why they maybe thought of like him in that lead role because like he's good at marketing, like he's good at promoting and he's good at just getting people's interest. Why you change the background?
We
on
had
me
the
right
gimmick background for the whole episode.
Oh, okay.
Check out the gimmick.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's good at selling projects. Like he's been a part of some very big box office films, right? And like,
Yes.
I think it's not quite to the level. Well, it's definitely not quite to the level that it once was. But like, there was a time when like The Rock was just popping off in all these films, and some of them were absolute hot garbage. But like, everybody knew of The Rock, and it's just like, oh yeah, The Rock in this movie, like you know what you're getting. So, there
I don't
is
think it was a dump.
something
for
there.
us, it would have been a joke. Like again, I call The Rock psycho. That's a joke. I think he's a very smart guy. I mean, we're that final boss character. He's just out there. But I don't think it was out of the realm of possibility if you're looking DC at that point when they're putting out Shazam and like all that stuff. Like they're really having a tough time. I can see the vision of I wouldn't have went that route, but I can see the vision of people if you're just thinking on a money perspective, Rock's a go-to guy. And even myself, I thought Black Adam was going to do better than it was. It doesn't matter about the quality. I still thought people would come out. It's like Rock doing his first superhero role. It's been talked about for years, and people really didn't care. I think that's because The Rock had been a lot of like meh stuff. People have kind of sniffed it out with The Rock of like
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise and even like the fucking red one last year. Like I think there's just George. What was Rampage?
Rampage.
Yeah.
Did we
San
review that?
Andreas.
I don't think I've
I think
ever
we
seen
did.
it.
At least
But
me and Taylor
you
did.
and someone did, yeah.
Me and Taylor did for sure. So, but I think that's the problem that at that point people had kind of figured out, no pun intended, but the gimmick of The Rock of okay, or I can only get you so far,
The mana.
the
You know,
mana.
we're not
You can
feeling the mana anymore.
No, you're not feeling the mana. Yeah,
DC
Superman's
wasn't.
new healing foam is Terra Mana. Yeah, great.
You mentioned the Nolan Robin thing. So sorry, is this rumors or something or
No, this was a canceled project. So I guess this was
okay.
something they were pitching him, and eventually Nolan's like, "No, we're not doing that." And
Yeah.
again, it wasn't said if it was like a Robin to Batman, or if it was just Robin in the sense of remember that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was like,
Yep.
"That's a nice name, Robin,"
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I've pitched that many times. I would have been there day one to watch Joseph
Oh.
Gordon-Levitt as Batman.
I'm there day one for any Nolan project. I would
Well,
be there for
but he would have
Nolan
been
Black
directing,
Adam
though.
2.
He would have been he wouldn't have been directing Robin though. He would have just
Just
been
in his
producing.
universe.
Yes.
Okay,
in
I'm
the-
a lot
so it
less
entails-
enticed about
Yes,
that. I
right?
think you need to have Nolan there because it's his brainchild.
Yeah.
And
And don't forget,
and
I
it
don't
would
know
have
if you
been
know
like
this,
a big timing thing for me also. Like if it was hot off the press of Dark Knight Rises and it's like this is an announcement, it's like fuck yeah, let's go. But just going back to that, yeah, a little bit less interested. You're changing some lights on me.
It was like
What's your
this-
favorite out of your color ranges? I usually have I like this one for lighting purposes. Plus, I get a little bit of a blue in there. But
Yeah, the green or red is. I was rocking red, but this does not look like blue anymore because it's so dark. So
the
I'm
blue
going
has
this
creeped me
blue.
out too because like the mask, like the Green Goblin mask, just the eyes on the blue.
Oh,
it just
yeah,
made it
it's-
look like a demon next to you, especially like
Yeah.
the glow off the eyes. It's a fantastic mask. But.
Yeah. Well, and this is what I was gonna say. You got to remember, this is the time where they went to Nolan to direct Man of Steel first. Well, I don't think it was called Man of Steel then, but they wanted to do Superman, and he linked them up with Zach. So same thing. They were in that process of let's do a Robin thing. He's like, I don't know, I'll do that. Oh, I'll do Superman. Like I think he was just done with that stuff, right? So I think he would have got the keys to the kingdom if he wanted, like James Gunn, but
glad
he
he
didn't.
didn't.
So
We
yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
have
glad he
gotten all
didn't.
these other
Too.
projects.
It's the same way of like I get it. People are like, oh man, because James Gunn said, I don't know if he was at the premiere or something like that. But James was like, "Oh, I've been talking to Ryan Coogler lately," and like, I get it, I understand, I see all like, could you imagine Ryan Coogler's Batman? Yeah, I could, but I really want him to do Black Panther 3 and then go on and just start the Nolan thing. We saw with Sinners, this guy has a lot of good original ideas. I think, I've loved everything this guy's done to varying degrees. So I don't really want that to happen for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's one more thing I think I missed.
There's the Justice League thing and the Superman being canceled thing.
Just Superman canceled spinoffs.
Well, remember, because it was canceled, it's too woke, Or
fuck.
Justice League being, refurbished till we get that movie.
Crazy statement from the head of
Alleged statement.
Yeah.
Not true.
Nonetheless, crazy. Nonetheless, I
Yeah.
believe that it's something that he could have said, but
No.
and
the
then
guy?
oh god, remind me, Justice League. What was this?
Their plan is to kind of like kind of get them back up to pristine order before doing a Justice League. It sounds like they don't want to rush into like, here's Justice League. They kind of want to be like, hey, I don't know if every member's gonna get a solo film, but I think kind of like the Flash, they're gonna want to get a new coat of paint and really try to reestablish them.
That's like if I'm going like parachuting and they're like, okay, we're gonna make sure that your parachute doesn't go off this time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
happened
something
last
you
time?
necessarily have to tell me, but I think that should be expected. So yes, I'm thumbs up. I'm glad with that statement. That's what that statement reminds me of. So yeah, good plan, DC.
Yeah, and I'm not in the way, like, I go back and forth. I still like the way that Marvel did do it of introduce your heroes, then the big team up. But even then, they had the four, and then they had Hawkeye and Black Widow, who were not on the team, right? Or didn't get a solo film, and they were on the team. So I'm down with that. Oh, go ahead.
What's the, because you have more of a finger on the pulse than I do with this sort of things, but, like, what's the general audience's feel with Hawkgirl and what they did with
I think everyone's the same
character.
as us, that just not enough. And I think, especially coming off of Last of Us, Isabel Merced kind of stole that season. So I think people were expecting more. But
I think it was just kind of like how the character works kind of threw me off. And some people that I've been talking about, they're like, what the fuck was going on with Hawkgirl?
yeah,
Without saying too much.
they didn't see Black Adam, Hawkman,
But Hawkman didn't do that shit that she was doing in this
like,
film.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, well, maybe he could have. Maybe it would have been a bigger
Black
film. I don't
Adam
know.
too. It would have been
Yeah.
a bigger focus.
Rock's like, he's gonna scream like no other. I'm gonna make him scream.
He's gonna scream mana. He's gonna scream mana.
Yeah, he's gonna pump up with Zoa. He's gonna be hyped. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and we'll see what happens. I agree with most people. I think the Justice League animated series, the lineup you're gonna go. So maybe we'll get Hawkgirl in there. But I think it's a good idea to reestablish a lot of them. I think obviously you need a new Wonder Woman, who should be Ardria Adrona. You should get her from Andor. Batman, who knows?
Is that
Flash. Well, yeah, that's Nick or Bix. Yeah, she to me is like the clear. Like to me, I feel like it's gonna happen. What? Over Taylor Swift. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a good call. But and then yeah, the Superman thing doesn't surprise me. You run around, you see who Dave Zaz's friends with, and I also think we're in a time where unfortunately there's a lot of people that if there's some the podcast started and there was not red eye thumbnails not our podcast, but as it went on, we saw there's the few to
We've
the
been around
many.
for a while.
Yes, so I could see that him, even if he was, which I am not giving him the benefit of the doubt, I bet he just went, that's woke garbage, get it out of there. I could see him being like, some people might feel this is too woke and they're not going to, it's going to be divisive, let's not do that. I think the same way as at some point people have been like, you can't put Supergirl in a skirt, but I think they're kind of like, even like there's been a discussion about like Cat Grant in Superman about like her and that massive cleavage and like like maybe even 5 years ago that wouldn't have been happening, right? Like it would have been like sexualized. And I think there is a bounce, whatever you want to say about that character, I don't really care because that character did nothing in that movie, but I think there is a bounce of being too sexual, and we don't want to be like WWF in the fucking 90s where women's are wrestling in bra and panty matches, right? But then you also don't want to be, here's WWE reference as well, right to censor, where let's cover everybody up, but let's not do this. So I think we've seen it go too far of people that are different races or genders or even just, sexual rotations get mishandled and made to be a joke or not used right. But then we've seen the other route where it's for the sake of doing it, studios do it. Not because they really meant to, just because, oh, we don't have a black person here, we don't have Hispanic.
Checking
we
a
should X, Y.
box.
Yeah, exactly, right? Which obviously it's not a perfect world. That's very hard to do. So I think that's where I can see that. But I guarantee he just went, nah, let's not get a black Superman. And at the same time, I think it's tough because I want James Gunn to say, oh, we're doing Elseworlds. I want that to happen. I think the Batman is a special situation because it's all already happening. I would imagine that the first Elseworld that James Gunn greenlights, that's not anything to do with Matt Reeves, will not be another Superman, another Supergirl. I think it would be a character that, like, hey, really gonna have nothing to do with the DCU. It's still, a DC movie, but let's do something different, right? Or something really wild where it's Superman. You've probably heard the storyline, Superman Red Sun, where instead of landing in Kansas, he lands in Russia. Yeah, that's where I feel like you do something very wild, and I just don't think. I like the Batman, or I love the Batman. I want to keep going, but if the Batman didn't exist, I would tell James Gunn, yeah, don't do Elseworlds at least for a couple years. Establish this DCU first, but so we'll see. Zaslav actually trusting James Gunn right now, maybe, but I'm not gonna trust Zaslav. Like this is like this fucking guy. Like, sorry, and doesn't don't trust anyone in Hollywood. The second. Let's say Superman next week has a fucking 90% drop, and it's the biggest second weekend drop of all time, and Supergirl bombs and Clayface bombs. The only thing he's gonna be trusting is, hey James, do you know where the front door is? Like, he's not gonna be I'm not gonna trust any of these big the guys that
Don't trust billionaires.
I know our company's really hurting for money, but I need another 15% bonus this year. Like, no. That's not a. So don't, Yark. I it's good to have that faith. I hope so, but I think it's a lot of word salad and whatnot. So. Milk Toast says, any rumors as to when Wonder Woman gets rehabilitated on silver screen? You'll like this quote. So James Gunn today said that the Batman and Wonder Woman films will go into production immediately when the script is good. So when is that?
Love it.
Who knows?
That's like my parachute comment.
Yeah. Who knows? And what does that define as good? That's James Gunn, and that's what's interesting.
Was he like in an interview or something, or he just?
Yeah, he was in an interview. Yeah, he's on post on his social media. Yeah, they're going in. No, he was in an interview and they got asked, but which is funny because I feel like a lot of people, I'll even include myself, like. I don't know if I want to say this. I just like. I've said it before. It's just my always worry is Matt Reeves handing in the Batman 2 script and James Gunn like, I don't know about this. And I'm not saying James Gunn shouldn't give notes. It's just like there's always going to be people that might like something that you don't, right? So I just hope that if something doesn't speak to him, but if it speaks to others, I hope he, like, let's say Peter says, I really love this. I hope he has the wherewithal to go, hey, we're going to go with this, right? You have to do that. So I'm not, and that's what I mean. I'm talking about James Gunn like a fake version because I don't really know James Gunn. I'm just saying, like, if this is the James Gunn, and for me, after I saw Superman, I would not, for my personal taste, if you say, hey, this is the guy that's going to give the green light if he thinks the Batman 2 script's good enough, I don't know if I trust that because I think Superman is in a whole different universe than the Batman. The Batman is tippy top comic book stuff where Superman's just like, yeah, a good time. So, I know that sounds a bit harsher. And again, James Gunn to me is directed. I gave all those Guardians films 10/10. I love Peacemaker. I'm just saying on this situation. So,
do you like Slither?
Yes, but I gotta see it again. I have not seen that in Super in a long, long time. So,
what was the second one you just said?
Super, the Rainn Wilson one where he's being a superhero, but it's like really realistic.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Have you seen that before?
No, the only Rainn Wilson.
Art. Yes, and Elliot Page.
Oh wow! No, the only Rainn Wilson super movie I can think of is My Super Ex-Girlfriend, starring.
He is in that with Therma.
He's like buddy of
Anna Faris.
Yeah,
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson, that's his name. Yeah.
I still got it.
I liked it. I liked that movie. I can't quite remember it all the way, but yeah, it's probably been a while.
I don't think I've seen it in full. So there you go. Okay. Espo says, I think you're giving Zaslav too much benefit of the doubt. I think I was.
We're not even giving him a lot of benefit of the doubt.
I was saying there could be a version, but if you say, hey, gun your head, Tress, what do you think happened? I think he was, Black Superman, and then threw it away. Like, that's what I think, So, 100%. Details says, I know this doesn't mean anything for the box office, but those Superman steelbooks sold out quick. That's tough because they only make a few of them, right, Detail? Like, I don't think they're a huge amount. They look good. Don't get me wrong. Have you seen the steel books?
No, but I will right now. Sorry, bad timing.
Kirkland's getting worried. He's like, we still got 2 more topics. It's 10. You know, I got to edit this. No, I'm joking. I got the edit. There's that one. Then did you see the Jurassic World Steelbook that was going around our Discord? Which down below, everyone join the Discord. If you like, hey, if people, I see some new of you in the chat. If you like talking with us and talking with the people in here, join our Discord. We're always talking about this shit, having a good time. But did you see the Jurassic World Steelbook that was floating around our Discord that Taylor was pissed about? Do you see it? Screen share it. When you get it, screen share it. It's good. Let's see. Espa says they just need to actually do the Black Label thing. I feel like there's a rumor every year saying they're going to be doing it as a separate brand, everything, and it never happens. I agree with you, S-Bubs, and for me it needs to be not just, well, the Batman 2 is part of Black Label. It's like, no, you were going to do that regardless. I agree with you. James Gunn has said it's going to happen, or like an Elseworlds label, but at the same point, I still think they do need to establish their stuff. Maybe even 2027 would be a good year when it's the Batman. Do like another Elseworlds there. So do you got it there? It's her on the fucking clip. Like,
I don't even know. Like, which one is it?
Oh, no, none of the bad ones are here, I don't think.
Like, it's just Jurassic World?
It's her like on a cliff. If anyone, let's see, what did you put in? Oh, put in Rebirth. Put in Rebirth. Put in Rebirth. Yeah, this should be right here. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that one right there. Look at that. It's that one right there. Yeah, that's the one. Look at that. She looks like she's so CGI'd under the box. Like it doesn't even look like a real photo. It's
Taylor, if you're a true dinosaur fan, you have to buy this.
He was so pissed. You say these fucking people taking my money or whatever it is. So,
like, what's this? It's just like images of like a really uninteristing scene from the movie.
Boat. Well, no, that's the big scene. Remember, that's the scene where they get chased. So. Oh, let's see here. Milk Toast says general audiences aren't like comic fanboys. They don't want an off-brand versions of the character. They don't want Batman. They want Superman. And Milk Toast, that's why I want. It's not the exact, but that's why I want the 2 Batman movies to really see. Okay, you know, can they work? But I agree and disagree because I throw Joker now. I know what you might say. Hey, Joker's always a psychopath. I mean, the first Joker movie was very different, right? That was a very character study, very independent feeling type movie. Also didn't work out for the second one. I think that's a lot to do with people didn't want a sequel, musical. But I feel like that was very different, and that was like an off-brand sort of thing, right? So I think it's case-by-case basis. What do you think, Erwin? Do you think people in general don't want off-brand characters, or do you think it's case-by-case? Where are you in that?
No, I think he's dead on with that statement. I think what makes those offshoot versions of the character so enticing to me is like, I've seen this character before. I know what he's doing, you know.
I agree.
Like,
yes.
It's like me with Star Wars, and like Jedis are cool, I guess, but like I want the fucking just the rule of 2 perspective, because we never get that perspective, and the old Republic stuff. Like I want to see stuff that I haven't seen before, so I think he's very accurate with that. And I mean, what was that one movie, Brightburn? Like that was a good example of like really interesting concept, didn't do well at all.
Yeah. Yark says John Cena has a more successful career than The Rock at DC at the moment. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, like at the same time,
Not surprised. This guy's
I'm just trying to. Right. I'm not like. Here's a question, and here's a chat can answer. Curry, you can answer. Let me find out what Black Adam made. If they put out a Peacemaker movie right now, not a TV show, Peacemaker movie, do you think it would be a Black Adam movie?
Well, Black Adam had like a $1 billion budget, didn't it?
Well,
And
no,
it's, like,
I'm just saying box
unlisted
office. I'm not
budget.
saying profitable. I'm saying so the box office.
Okay,
Was
but if they
300
put like $1 billion of money into the film, I would hope it's better than someone that put a lot less money in.
So Black Adam had a budget of 190 to 260. That's some rock fucker right there. It's 190 260, somewhere in there. But let's just round up. It made 400 million. Do you think if they put out a Peacemaker movie today, it would make 400 million? Because I think absolutely fucking not. So that's where Yark, I disagree. Where it's tough on TV, because same thing. If you're saying, oh, The Rock's on HBO, like a HBO Black Adam series, that could have done just as well as Peacemaker. So I think I love John Cena. Don't get me wrong, but I still think any movie. I think if they remake The Matrix and you put Rock and John Cena, I think people go see The Rock. I'm not saying who's better, but I think The Rock still is more pull than John Cena right now. The only way John Cena might oust him isn't a pure comedy situation, because I feel like that's what people want from John Cena, is to see him. And I know Peacemaker is comedic, but that's also very like, that cuts off a lot of the audience. That's very, dick and fart jokes and whatnot. Even if you make it PG-13, I'd still have my money on Black Adam.
Yeah.
Yark says no,
I
so
agree.
you disagree. I'll ban you. No, I'm joking. Let's see. Nico
What was
Belk.
that
I'm not gonna
flying around you?
It was a moth or
Mothman?
something. Fire the flame. Nico Belk. I'm not gonna answer this fully because it's spoilers for the movie. I'm just gonna say one, because that's the way they wrote it, and two, maybe Lex put something in the costume so Superman couldn't see the X-ray through. He thinks of everything. Detail says
Underpowered, right?
that's true. Yeah, his X-ray only works when it's fully sent out. Some rain doesn't work at all. Jurassic World, Rebirth, all-time bad steelbook. I think we agree with you there. Oh man, Milquetoast hot take: The Rock starring as Sergeant Rock. Could you imagine James Gunn and The Rock
the ring
back
of that.
together? Yeah, I don't. It's a hot. I don't think it's the worst, because Gunn will get him work out. So, but
Is
I
he
think
CGI, this character?
no, Sergeant Rock's just a sergeant. He's just an army general. That was that movie, remember, they were going to make, but then they kind of canceled it. But then no, it's not canceled. It's just on hold for now. No.
I'm down.
There you go. Okay, let's take another ad break, and then we'll be right back. Okay, and Kirkland, I think that last topic of the rumor film TV shows, we're going to say that for another time, because we got enough juice going on here already. So big thank you to everyone in the chat, jumping in, everything. It was a fun night right now. Just lots of random questions, also all about Superman. But big thank you to you guys. Made this be a 2-hour show, and we didn't even get through all topics. But we're going to talk about our last DCU stuff. We're going to talk about Clayface, Mr. Terrific, Jimmy Olsen, and Peacemaker details. Espo says, "What would a panel of Dwayne? Oh God, what would a panel of Dwayne Johnson announcing he's Sergeant Rock look like?" Oh, the fireworks. He'd come out with like the big like army gear. He'd come out on a tank for sure.
Big, sponsored by Zoa, also
Yeah.
everywhere, banners, all of his just
say this for
brands, whatever he's pitching.
He would. Espo says, "I love this character since I was a kid. My favorite character." And
Yeah,
he'd go on to be
100%,
like,
yeah.
and my uncle, he fought in one of the wars, and he said, like, what am I gonna do, little Dwayne? Like, what Dwayne said, like, what am I gonna do with your gun, Uncle? Uncle's like, well, DJ, here's a comic to keep you happy, and he handed me this comic, and it was Sergeant Rock.
That's why I took the moniker of The Rock.
Yeah, exactly. I knew I wanted to be just like him. And then my uncle, he died. And this movie is for my uncle. And it'll be like, Jimmy.
He said, shit.
True shit. It's for my uncle. Get him. Get Coleman Domingo as Sergeant Rock. No, I want him as Norman.
Yeah,
But
he would be in character, though, for the reveal, just like he did Black Adam in the suit.
absolutely, yeah. I guess he couldn't do that though in like a Comic-Con setting, like him walking out with like a fake, even though it's a fake machine gun. That might be
Motherfucker! Everyone's just running for
blanks,
the door.
but still, like in America, not the greatest gun laws there. So I think the Rock might get in some trouble. But all right, let's go point by point by this. This is a rumor right now, but it's supposed that Clayface will not entirely be set in Gotham. The rumor is that his accident happens in Gotham, and then he goes to Hollywood to get the surgery. And it said that no DC characters, including Batman, are going to be in this. So what do you think about Clayface not being in Gotham?
It's a crazy statement. I don't believe
Right?
that by any means. I think there's going to be at least some offshoot side character that is appeared in a DC comic.
All the
book.
cast listings apparently are all for new original characters other than Clayface.
Why even make a Clayface then if we're going this route? I
Sure sounds like Sony Marvel to me. I'm not saying that
it
quality.
really
but
does though. It really really does.
No
and I feel
Batman, New York, not Gotham.
initially
all
when I was reading the
characters.
statement, I'm like, okay, I don't know. You don't need Batman to do a Clayface story. He's a really interesting character with many layers. I think you could do so many interesting detective whatever LA noir type films
Yes.
around the Clayface. Of course, I'm pulling this off of the Cape Crusader version because that was
Oh yeah.
probably
And
my
this is
favorite
not that
version of the
version.
character.
This is going to be the monster. It's
Okay.
described as the substance. So
Which is even more fitting to pair up with a Batman and in Gotham. So I don't like the likes of this, or sorry, the sounds of this. And yeah, you nailed it with the Sony verse comparisons. It has that just plastered all over it. Obviously, I'm hoping that's not the case, because if this does come out, I will be seeing it, and I don't want to just sit through garbage.
No.
I want it to be good because, like I said, like I was piquing my interest off of Cape Crusader. But yeah, a lot of red flags already, and this is like ways away, and I'm already super red flag in this.
Well, no, this is only next year.
Okay, it's really not
Clayface is
that
coming
far
out
away,
next
and I'm
October,
still.
Yeah.
Is it filming like already? Like
It's
what?
kind of soon, yeah. Because it's supposed to be again 30 to 40 million, so it's cheaper,
Yeah.
right? Like just
Which
the Clayface
that
stuff.
I do like the sound of that. I'm
Yeah.
you know I'm an advocate for cheaper films.
I just wish we had the Batman in this universe first. I don't like the order of
Yeah.
it. It feels very like that stuff has made me not.
Is he super attached to like his origin of Clayface?
Well,
I
the
didn't think
script
so.
apparently but the script that Mike Flanagan wrote it on is based off Feet of Clay, which is a Batman animated series episode, which is about Batman taking him down. So it's gonna be weird what the resolution is there. I can see where you can change some stuff. I just go, why not? Even if you don't see Batman, why not set in Gotham? I'm sure they probably go, well, if we set in Gotham, there have to be Batman. He's fucking shit up, I guess. But you always make him busy. Same thing of like, I'd love to like. If you don't get Batman in there, fine. That you don't want to introduce someone big, but what if you introduced like Gordon in there or something like that? Like some of those other, Gotham characters, or like another. The Bat family is going, so what if you like, hey, we don't have Batman, but like Nightwing's gonna be in this or something like that?
Yeah.
Like
Taylor
I
Swift,
don't
Barbara
know.
Gordon.
Absolutely, sure. Let's do it. That'd be you want
Ready
to blow
for
up
that new album.
Clayface? No, then the budget goes way up. The budget's
Yeah.
gets
Ooh.
inflated. So, I don't know. The more and more I hear about this, I don't love the director choice either. I'm gonna really need to be
Who is the
convinced. Just a guy that's done like a few horror movies that I think are just fine. It's because Mike Flanagan, who wrote the script, one of my favorite current directors, was too busy to direct it. My opinion was that, hey, we're gonna boot this until you're ready, but that's not how Hollywood works. You gotta, and this could be a surefire hit because it's a cheap budget, but I'm gonna have to see this one to believe it. So I just don't like the sounds of not Sen Gotham, no Batman. It's sounding very much like, where's Spider-Man? Oh, he's we'll meet him someday, or Venom being like, I know that guy, but never
Matt
seeing him.
Smith's gonna be like the number 2 in this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that fucking dance scene.
Shout out to Matt Smith, who is great.
Shout out to Matt Smith, great in House, great in many things. Right now, there's been rumored talks from James Gunn. That was back to the Wall Street Journal article. We talked about this a bit on the review, but not a deep dive. That he's looking into television spinoffs for Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen.
Terrific.
Fuck, Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen. Kirkland, you looking forward to that?
Is the Jimmy Olsen just gonna be like a goon fest where he's just like slinging dick constantly, and it's just
It's like shame.
Yeah.
It's just like a sex addict, like he's actually sad. Hang on, before we continue, Superman Mike says, on one hand, it worked for the Batman, took place in Gotham, but no major Batman characters. But difference, he was introduced in the Batman. That's what I would like, is Clayface be introduced first. And then second is you still had like Karma. What the how did I fuck, I forgot about the balloons. You had Carmine.
You're
You had
drowning over there.
Salvatore Maroni in there. You had the Hangwoman, like Maroni's or Falcone's daughter, and you had other connections. They talked about the flood that went into the movie, right?
Yeah.
At the end, you got a letter from Catwoman. I'm not saying you're completely wrong, Mike, but I still feel like there's like a few more touches where if you're in New York, you're not bumping to Alfred Pennyworth there, So yeah. And Milquito says that'd be like making a Catwoman movie without Batman. Oh wait, yeah, we've been down that road before. So or like making a Morbius movie, or a Kraven the Hunter movie, or I'll say Venom worked for a bit.
Did you watch Kraven yet?
No, I've still never seen Kraven. That's like the only comic film I've still never seen yet. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but
No rush.
no,
It's going nowhere.
I'm so far. I still haven't finished Squid Game. Sandman's out.
Yeah.
I got 1994 stuff. There's a bunch of new films I want to watch. Like, do I watch Kraven? No.
No, you do not.
Spinoffs, terrific. Olsen, you want it?
Spinoffs. I like the Terrific one just because I really like the character. I think that was a big highlight in the film. So, and there's just a lot of interesting things going on with that character that I think you can flesh out to a full TV series. So is this like Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen, like
No,
against
separate.
the world, separate?
Separate shows.
Get Jimmy Olsen off this. Like, what are we doing here? This is so ridiculous.
I guess if you're looking at cheap budgeted shows, Jimmy Olsen.
What's it
perfect,
gonna
'cause
be though? Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna fight crime? Like, I only see it
No,
as like a meme where it's just like
I
Jersey Shore, but Jimmy Olsen. He just partying all the time.
I don't know. I don't think they go that route. I think it would be like a Daily Planet show with Jimmy Olsen as the lead, and it would be
Yawn.
like a comedic. Yes, it would be comedic and like kooky things that happen in the Daily Planet. To me, this is something where what?
I just picture you like as like the showrunner, like trying to pitch this to like the heads, and it's like they're just doing kooky things. And
And Zaslav like, yes, Black Superman, no. Jimmy
what
Olsen,
color
big
is
dick?
Jimmy
Yes.
in this?
Oh, you mean in
show?
this movie you made the white character have a big dick? Yeah, greenlit. Yeah, I would think it's Daily Planet. This is one to me where for the first time we had an MCU project come out, Ironheart, that we did not review. We've not reviewed it. We'll talk about it in a year at some point, maybe. But that's the first time for us. I think maybe I'd watch the episode, give it whatever, but like that would be, I think, a series we would be skipping. I don't think the GV crew would be dedicating their time to that one because I just feel like, I guess if it's really cheap and you can get some wins, but I'm just saying, like, if you're starting a universe, this should not be on the plate. And that's one thing I will say. To me, if this show goes forward, that's one of those things where like it's a James Gunnisms, and he loves Jimmy Olsen. And I feel like some of the Jimmy Olsen comedy was very James Gunn, right? And that to me would be a very like, oh yeah, I love this character, I love the comedy, so I want the show. It's like, no, sometimes like that's too far. And I just don't think, Olsen Adventures Midnight Reviews, absolutely fucking
Elizabeth
not.
Olsen, maybe not Jimmy.
Absolutely. I'll review anything with Elizabeth Olsen at any time. Jimmy Olsen, no. And don't get me wrong, we check out a review, nothing against the actor. He did a fine job, just didn't like the story. I just even think Day of the Planet show, no. I think you need to be specific with your spin-offs. And back to Ironheart, same thing with Mr. Terrific. I loved him in the movie, thought he was great. Same thing as Ironheart. I'll talk about more on Thursday in the What You've Been Watching section, but I watched it, and I love Dominique in the role, but I was also like, you know what? Sometimes characters, maybe they don't need their own projects like this, right? And I was like, I'd be very excited to see her in Young Avengers, but I don't know if we needed the show. I wonder if Mr. Terrific could be like that, where it's like, in concept, it's great, but when you get it, you go, I'd rather him just be on Justice League or in the Justice League, like whatever, right? So I wouldn't be opposed. I'd like to see the pitch. I think Eddie did a great job. So don't get me wrong, that's one where if they announced it, yeah, it makes perfect sense. He was one of, if not the standout everyone talks about. So sure. I still also think like let's see how Peacemaker season 2, and again, this is not, he didn't announce this is rumor, right? But I would be like, let's see how Peacemaker goes, and then also let's see how Lantern goes next year, because it's like a whole new venture, right? So yeah, Jimmy Olsen, no shot at all. That can't happen. You can't do Jimmy Olsen show.
You can't keep getting away with this, as the great Jesse, what's his last name? Pinkman. There you go. Jesse Pinkman would
You can't
say.
get away with this. Yeah.
It this reminds me of like, was it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where you had
or Damage Control, or like,
oh my god, there was multiple?
no, there's Agent Shield. What is this? Maybe I'm wrong. Can someone, guy in the chair, that's supposed to be you, someone tell me there was a show that was on, you remember when they launched the DC Universe app? You remember that? And they just
Oh my
fold that in
gosh,
HBO?
no.
No. So they did a show where it's like superheroes and supervillains destroy the city, and this is about the crew that puts it back together and fixes it. Vanessa Hudgens was in the show. Alan Tudyk was in the show as Bruce
Attaboy.
Wayne's cousin, who I don't think was a real character in the comic books, but this was a show they did. So there's a couple of these shows, yeah. But that to me is like Agent Shield, where it's like, this is or like, did you remember Peggy Carter got her own show?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I did. Yeah, and like everything that we just listed is so much more interesting than a Jimmy Olsen show to me. And like, who knows? Maybe they're gonna like just set it up in a really interesting way. I'm gonna see that trailer and be like, "Fuck, this looks good." But as of right now, I don't see that future possibility happening. And yeah, all these shows that you just listed off sound so much more
Powerless
interesting.
was the show. Powerless. It was a network. I'm gonna say NBC, I think. I know, Kirkland, we're going long, but I'm pulling up the fucking trailer.
Please do. No,
I'm pulling up the trailer.
we made it down this
Agent
rabbit hole
Carter was
together.
good stuff, especially the second scene. I've never seen Agent Carter. I should go back and watch it because I should put them to this because I love Haley Atwell, and I've heard the
Yeah.
show's good. So it's like, that's a pro right there. Atwell can do no wrong.
Yeah.
So,
And that's considered canon, right? Like it takes place
It is now. Before it was kind of like an iffy thing, but then they've brought characters back in, so I think it is. So, and then Superman Mike says he would have thought a Hawk Girl spinoff would be ideal. I think if she would have had a better showing in the movie, maybe. But you know what? It could happen because after Last of Us, I think they probably really like Isabel Merced. So I'd be down. I think maybe you do another Superman 2 or something else.
Would this have been filmed after Last of Us? Or kind of in tandem?
Pretty similar time, yeah. Like this one was short, so I feel like Last of Us was first, and then they went over here. But oh man, even the thumbnail, like, I mean, like, is that for the DC official? Okay, no, it's not the official DC page. Thank God. It was just like Alan Tudyk in the screen like this. But I'll pull it up here. I just got an ad, but yeah, this was something. I guess it was on NBC, but then they eventually were like, I think they're like, oh, next day on the DC Universe app or whatever it was, but. It's and I couldn't believe Hudgens was in this. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's pull this up.
Fuck yeah. Look at that symbol.
Okay. Can you hear it?
Oh, yeah. What's that up in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane?
God, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
You seriously can't tell the difference between a bird and a plane?
Oh, that guy. He's from Community.
And this would be the fucking Jimmy Olsen show. This would be the
Jimmy
Olsen
show. Oh my god!
They are
what was that boulder? Go back. Umbrella. That was worse than Log Truck. I think that defeated the Log Truck.
Welcome to Wayne Security.
Oh my god, it's so many.
You seriously can't tell the difference between a bird and a plane?
Hang on. I'll go back and pause it. That was
your anti-rubber.
And then they have like a bus that also is the same. I mean, I shouldn't judge too hard. It is NBC channel.
Yeah, but that's not great. But yeah, we'll keep going.
Welcome to Wayne Security.
They are green lighting
is this
your
like a sitcom?
anti-rubble umbrella.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe I'm working for Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's cousin.
I told him about you.
You talked to Bruce Wayne about me?
No, I texted him. What? Look at his reply.
Stop using my HBO Go password.
Oh, what a joker.
Oh my god. All the bad stuff in there. What a joker.
Isn't her jet invisible? Yes, don't lose any pieces. No! I just finished putting it together!
That's
This
crazy.
glass is made of kryptonite.
And how does
This
it
is what
work
I
when the
pictured
people
Jimmy
inside
Olsen
need
show
help
being.
from Superman?
I can't
had
believe
not taken that
Hudgens did
scenario
this.
into account.
I mean, what is she doing though? Like she was in like some
called the
terrible
Werebat. It protects against
Hallmark
collateral damage
Christmas.
from superhero battles.
She was in an Oscar-nominated movie a couple of years ago. Remember Andrew Garfield did that musical? Like, I'm not saying...
Oh, she was in that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm not saying Vanessa Hudgens is like A tier should be in stuff, but like, she should
That's
know.
awesome.
This should have been not...
I hope she got paid well.
It's only good for one.
She must have been the first name.
I thought we were here to change the world.
Who told you that?
It's the company motto.
Oh, that. No, that came with the office. This used to be a diaper company.
Holy fuck. Good.
Yeah.
Feel like, hey, whoever watched that show, good on them. I don't know how to
Let
turn
us know
this
your
fucking-
thoughts. And if
Yeah,
you'd recommend it to us.
There's gonna be there's no Patreon producer retro tier for that. That's
We don't do TV series.
Yet. No,
And
not
definitely
yet.
not for that one.
Let's see quickly here. Supergirl Hawkgirl team up. Too expensive. Now that's getting to it.
What
I
about
want it.
Hawk people. Like if you get Hawkman in there eventually. You
I think we're still getting too expensive. I think once you get 2 Hawks in there, that budget, then you got to do a movie. You know,
2 Hawks too much.
the Ghost Rider season of Agents shows some top tier comic content. I've heard that. I've heard good things about that season. Oh my god, we got one. Superman Mike. I watched all of Powerless. It was actually pretty okay. There's an episode where Hudgens dates a Riddler henchman. Okay, that's kind of fun. And again, maybe that's it. Maybe that trailer is just awful. So
It is an awful trailer.
there we go. Milk Toast says, I think Powerless was the last time we see Adam West on screen. Oh, well, you know, maybe in 50 years when we have no content to review, we'll be doing that. So, all right, we got our
This
last.
will be me, all old and just gray, peeling my skin as I'm watching Powerless.
It's going to be so depressing when we make the 60-year highlights and we see how young we were. Like, oh my God. All right, so It's our last thing, and then we got just a quick Patreon question here. But so in the same interview that he talked about the which thing was it? Shit, which you made a joke about. He's just saying this. Oh, the Batman Wonder thing. Yeah, same interview. You're saying that. This was the quote because they asked. The interviewer was like, "Oh, something about crypto, like they were really important." Superman said, "Yeah," and then the interviewer was like, "Yeah, it's kind of like how Rocket and Guardians that it became like the whole heart of that story, right?" And James like, "Well, like I wouldn't say Rocket. Rocket's definitely not the heart of the DC universe and where it's going, but." This was a quote. He says, and here's a statement from the Twitter account. It says, James Gunn teases the DCU is built around a character that fans have seen before, but probably isn't one that anyone would ever expect. And then he went on to say, I think if people watch the next season of Peacemaker, they'll see where a lot of the things are going. I don't know how Kirkland feels about this, but again, listen. I think there's many benefits to James Gunn being the DC head. I think there's more pros and cons. And I wish Taylor was here because Taylor's the biggest, like one of the biggest James Gunn hater of all. But I don't know, maybe after Superman he's changed around. But he's always like, look what he said, look at this, look at this interview, look at this photo. But I'm not that fully. But I think he is smart enough not to let something like this happen. If there's a situation where for some reason Peacemaker or one of those type of characters do become like one of the uber important characters becomes, I don't know, for some reason a MacGuffin, that is a no-go for me. That's definitely gonna take some grades down. I think that just screams like, well, Peacemaker was my property, so now that I'm gonna put in the DCU where I run it, Peacemaker, or yes, as it says, Amelia Harcourt, aka Jennifer Holland, they're gonna be the vital piece of this. It's like that's where I think you will get people to turn on you. It just becomes eye-rolly. So I don't know what his text is here. My hope is he's more just kind of bullshitting and he's just trying to make sure you watch Peacemaker season 2 and there's something else in there. But when he says it's someone you've seen before, I don't know. Maybe that still means it's someone in Superman that's going to be in Peacemaker. I don't know. This just quote, made me worry a little bit, Kirkland. So I'm not sure. Do you think, what did you take from this quote of, it's going to be built around a character we've seen before. And if you watch Peacemaker season 2, what about this one? Rick Flag Sr.? Not awful, because I could see, like, that's a weird pick, but at least he has different contingencies going on, but...
He would kind of be like the Nick Fury of the...
could be, yeah.
Of the batch. I mean, yeah, it's definitely a concerning comment. Not one that I think is, like, getting the reception that he maybe would have hoped. Something like... It's like, this will really get people talking on who this could be.
No,
it's
I'm
like,
scared
oh,
for
God,
Peacemaker season 2.
Who could this be? Yeah.
Hopefully it's Tim Robbins for Peacemaker too,
Tim Robbins?
Remember we watched that trailer and he's like, you, big titties. He gives them all the name. He's like, hey, dude, don't give the nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Give it him. That'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like for myself, I'm like holding out hope. It's like a character we just haven't really seen.
But he says
maybe.
We've seen them before. That was the quote.
Oh, God. Okay, I misheard him then. Yeah,
quote,
I mean, Peacemaker,
the
right?
DCU is built around a character that fans have seen before. But I guess when he says fans have seen before, does that mean in Peacemaker or have just seen before?
Yeah.
What if it's Ezra's Flash? Oh, Tim Meadows, thank you, Superman Mike. Yeah. What if it's Flash? Ezra Miller's flashback.
I don't think it would be Ezra.
Nope. Harley Quinn.
I feel like we're just veering away from that. I mean, yeah, it could be technically any DC character.
You feel like we're just veering away from that? I feel like we took a hard fucking right turn, not too far away. So
we absolutely did. I mean, yeah, I don't want to speculate in too many avenues because I don't want to get too excited and I don't want to hopefully get too just sad by what this is going to mean when we get that reveal. I am really looking forward to Peacemaker season 2. I really like season 1.
Especially after Superman. Some fun connections in there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I think it is going to be a good season. Mm-hmm. This is obviously going to be the first time where we have like big tie-ins to like big film things just because we have James Gunn like leading the charge.
Well, I was going to say, and he's off the leash. Remember when he got the Justice League, which could be, as we read, a bad thing. We'll find out. I feel like within 2 years, we're going to get a good sense of is this a good move or bad move. But remember, he wanted to have the Justice League and DC would not let him have Superman or Batman appear and Cyborg. So that's why we got, that's why they were like blanked out. But we got Ezra and Aquaman. So this is like, there. You know who he goes to ask if he can get the Justice League in there? himself. You know, like there's nobody else. You know.
He probably talks to himself a lot in the mirror and just.
Yeah.
God damn, James, you were good today. You were
Jennifer
good out there.
Holland's just locking the door. Figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, I wish Taylor was here to just vent about this, but
No, because he likes no. Jim's gonna lead the way. You know. I love
After-
hardcore.
like recently.
Well, because he gave it a high score than me, Superman, right? So. he's
Oh
just a
yeah,
point
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
he's just a 0.5 under you. So.
No, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, speculating who it could be, like anyone that I can think of that I've seen before, and like specifically, just in this era of DC that we've seen with James Gunn or the Peacemaker characters, it doesn't get me too excited.
No.
But I don't like. But that being said, like I don't want to just not see like Peacemaker, like John Cena. Like I do like him, but like having him as the focal point for this whole adventure doesn't seem like the right move there. So yeah, this is very real perplexing. I think in the Discord I threw out that it's just a joke. It's going to be James Gunn as himself.
He was in Creature Commander credits, remember? And I don't
True.
think you know this story, but he said when he got the job of the DCU president, the first two people he called was Kevin Feige, and the second person he called was John Cena. That's a
Suck
James
it,
Gunn quote.
Feige.
Yeah. But no, he did call John Cena second. So I just wonder, it's like,
Oh man, it's happening. It's like oh god, it's gonna be John Cena.
yeah, I don't know. Milk Toast asks, how does Peacemaker fit into the new DCU, considering that season 1 took place in DC, the old DCU? I think it's going to be a very quick answer, and it's just going to be some multiverse mumbo jumbo. And even then, they've said like some stuff happened in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Some like, here's the thing, which is, some people might think this is dumb, but he said some stuff from Suicide Squad canon. So he said Peacemaker killing Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman's canon, and that's why Rick Flag Sr. is going to be after him. But then this week he said Idris Elba shooting Superman with a kryptonite bullet did not happen. So it's just going to pick and choose. So really, I think you have to look at this Peacemaker as just John Cena's playing him again. It's like how J.K. Simmons is playing J. Jonah Jameson in No Way Home. It's a new Jonah. So I think that's what's going to happen, is it's going to be a Peacemaker that's slightly different with slightly different canon. But again, with multiverse stuff, we have that moment in the trailer. Remember when the two Peacemakers face off and they're staring at each other? So just, I think multiverse mumbo jumbo, they'll do that. I think it could be eye-rolly, but if they do it in a joking way, it'll work. If he makes them really important, like something like, oh, he's from the old universe and we need to use him to get to this X, Y, and Z, it just feels like almost like a weird form of nepotism, but with your projects, you know. And I don't know. And again, Peacemaker, like, I think people like him, but he's not like a $1 billion property character.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And like you said, with the humor around him, like it just seems like fart jokes and dick jokes, and
yeah,
that can deter a lot of people. If that is not your bag, baby,
Yes.
like that can really deter you.
Which again, I'm not saying. Let's say they do Justice League and they got to fart, because he said fart
Jokes.
They got to fight Darkseid.
Say that again?
God damn it. They gotta, let's say it's a situation where it's like Infinity War where the Guardians are in it. I'm completely fine if Peacemaker's in a Justice League, he gets to be that crazy side character. But that was some of my complaints with Superman, where I felt some of James Gunn humor does not work with some of the main characters. Super shit for me. Did not work for me. So that's where it's just like, I'm fine if he's in a Justice League movie. Maybe he's a member, sure. But if he is like one of the crux, like a Cap or Tony, like, no, that's not my bag, baby. So that's what says. Show Taylor some corn sweat. Richard Brosnan interview clips to get him angry about Gunn. Oh no, I spammed with some last week. That's an after 9 conversation. I suppose we'll talk about it in the future. All right, fine. If anyone has any questions, throw them in now, because we're answering one last Patreon question. So anything else, get them in there, and then we'll talk about it. But our last question was a little bit off topic, so I left to the end. But Charlie Randall, let me find oh my God, where's my browser here? I lost it.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, I think he asked if you're. Oh, I think I found it. Here we go. Yeah. Another question. Is anyone seeing? I know what you did last summer in Eddington this week. I know what you did last summer. Absolutely not, because I went back. Oh God, what's he doing? It's his night off. It's 10:32. You know, it's not like me who's got all our ears and everything. He's watching some more cam footage of those scenes in Superman.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I said this a couple
10:30 hour. I know what he's doing.
Yeah. There's a House of Dragon scene. Lots of skin. Go check it out. I know what you did last summer. No, a couple episodes ago, Charlie, I talked about this where I watched the original, and to me, it aged very poorly. And the fact that this setup for the new one was just the exact same. Well, they hit a guy while they were drunk and threw his body away. To me, was very like, oh, okay. That's all we're doing. So I will happily watch it on VOD just to complete the cycle. But no, Eddington is going to be a 50-50. I don't know what the screen times are. I very much want to. That's Ari Aster's next movie. I probably will try to see it at some point this weekend. Thursday coming up for us. We got a double header because we got 2 episodes to record. So, but the good thing is those 2 episodes might just be an hour each. So if it's late,
you're gonna go after the cast on Thursday. You really are a menace.
Well, I want to see Eddington. I like Ari Aster's work.
I want to see Eddington also, but like, I'm looking at her calendar here, and like that's a lot of color, and like there's not a lot of free days.
Okay.
Couple squeezy moments this weekend. Who knows? Maybe we'll have to.
Sunday
check,
we can't.
I do really want to see Eddington.
Sunday we can't because the thing we're doing, people are gonna be tired, and Taylor's gonna be taking the hospital because he's a fucking tattoo. He's gonna be doing physical stuff. Saturday's my free night because I moved. I had a double book, and then Saturday night I got plans with Emily. Dexter, Taylor's gonna text us at 8:34 and be like, "Actually, can I get another hour on Dexter?" So luckily, there's one episode.
Why does he talk like an old timer?
What? Because he does sometimes. And then the other thing for you that you don't have, I didn't even know I had it. Fucking Donkey Kong's out on Thursday.
I'm not getting that shit. Why are you putting me in this mix?
What did I just say to you?
You said that thing with you and.
I said the thing that you don't have, so you don't have to do.
Okay,
this.
I was.
So for me, I have Donkey Kong. So there's actually, Charlie, there is a good chance I don't see editing. I think what's going to happen is, at least this week, because I do want to play Donkey Kong before the review, and I have, like Kurgan said, very little time this week. I'm going to probably lean on critics that I like or people that I like, other podcasters, and if they really good things to say, then I'll go see it. Because the other thing is, too, for me, I've said before, I have no interest in COVID movies, and this is a COVID movie. So as far as his movies, Ari Aster, this is one I've been the least interested in, even though love the cast. Can't wait to see Emma Stone with Ari because she's doing weird shit nowadays. So I want to see it. But I'd say it's a 50-50. Depends on those casts on Thursday. But that's why Kirk will be my only time to slide in, because then Monday I got side quests, and then Tuesday it's me and Taylor Weekly Geek. Wednesday we got a double because you and Dylan's retros, and then we got Fantastic Four. So it's a busy time, which I appreciate because people.
Gonna be here in no time.
It's gonna be here in no time. I appreciate people supporting us again. Last month, our biggest month in 2.5 years. So I appreciate it. We're working hard, so I appreciate that you guys are supporting us, clicking the download buttons while we do that. But sometimes free time, little tight. But you seen any of these the next little bit? Know what you did last summer and I know you've been dying for. I know what you did last summer.
I'm definitely not watching I Know What You Did Last Summer at all. I think I've seen the original, but yeah, no interest for this one. Eddington, I really want to watch, so hopefully I can squeeze in a moment. But like,
you still haven't seen Bo.
Man, I still haven't seen what?
You still haven't seen Bo is
Afraid. You keep bringing up Bo as if it's like the best thing since sliced bread. Like,
no, but you're like, I'm a big Ari Aster fan, and that's part of his filmography.
I'll get to it. I'm also like realizing with how busy our weeks are, and like just looking at the calendar, I'm like, fuck, we are running out of time. I gotta start just spamming out some 1994 movies. So I don't think I'm gonna really commit to this Eddington right now, although I do really want to see it.
We're gonna get to Golden Geeks, and I'm gonna be like, all right, Kirkland, tell us what's your favorite 1994 movie? He's gonna hit us with.
Just having fun, man. Making movies, big adventure, having a great time.
100%. I'm like, oh yeah, no. What are you guys' thoughts? I think I agree with you guys. Or be like, oh, I thought it was 1995. I watched all these 1995 films. Could you imagine?
Oh
that'd be awful.
that I'd question you as we give you a list. All right, some questions here to end us off. Superman Mike says, has seeing Guy Gardner and Superman made you more or less excited for Lanterns? More pertaining that he has to interact with both Lanterns. I want to see him interact with Jon Stewart for sure, but for some reason I really want to see him interact with Hal, because Hal is played by Kyle Chandler and he's going to be like the veteran. So the two veterans, and I just feel like Kyle Chandler, I brought this up on Vlogger stream, but just the way of like, think of the way that Kyle Chandler reacts with, he doesn't know who Kyle Chandler is, the way he was looking at me.
From King Kong? That guy?
What?
Right? Yeah, he's in King Kong.
It is just that's what you're full. Not Friday Night Lights, not Wolf of Wall Street, but that stuff. Think about in Wolf of Wall Street when he's there with Jordan Belfort and how annoying he is. If he can bring that energy to interacting with Guy Gardner, we got some great stuff going on. But like I said, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, are you more excited for Lanterns after seeing Guy Gardner? So I'd say I am.
I am.
He's confirmed in it. Yeah.
I definitely am. I like the performance. Remind me, how is there like multiple like human Green Lanterns? Isn't there just like one at a time, or am I like so off in the weeds on how it works?
So again, because I'm not the biggest DC lore guy, I think that's how it started. But I think they just wanted to expand it, and they probably, you know what they probably did, Kirkland, is they probably went, oh, Earth's getting more threats, we need more lanterns. I bet, right?
Classic.
That's an easy way because it probably start off, oh, we just need one Green Lantern, but now it's like. You got Kaiju, you got Lex Luthor, you got Joker, you got all this stuff. So I bet that's what happens. That they just felt they needed more they needed more coverage on Earth.
Yeah, for sure. Milk Toast, yes. I'm looking at his his list right here.
There you go.
He is a part of early edition. But more importantly, King Kong. Shouts out to King Kong. And the reason why it came up so quick is because like I recently rewatched King Kong because that's a good background film. Not a 1994 film, but.
Huh? Isn't that right? Huh, brother?
That's me slapping you. Yes, it is.
No,
it is. Is that right?
You're rewatching King Kong.
And I said, well, that was like probably a month ago now, but weeks.
We were
weeks
well
ago
into 94. Yeah, there are like 7 human Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns. Yeah, makes sense. Milk Toast, you should ask this question again on. I don't know. I think right now we're going to be doing GM mode. If you like wrestling, it's myself, Espo, Susan Comments, and Dave. We host a wrestling podcast on the channel. So check that out too on Sunday, 10 a.m. PST. Very likely that is the time we're going to be doing GM mode. Ask the question again when the boys are there. But quickly to answer it, why doesn't the women of wrestling get more respect from the IWC when it comes from discussions of ladies wrestling? I think real wrestling fans completely discuss them properly, and honestly I would say if you were to look at the percentage of men and women, I think women are the better wrestlers right now. I think most of them are just like people that not most, but the other people are just like the Captain Marvel Red Eye people or the Supergirl, that soon to be Red Eye thumbnail people. It's like, oh, they're taking over the main event scene. Most of it's just because they feel inferior to themselves for some reason, or they want to be a wrestler and they see a woman doing it. It's like, oh my God, they can't do that. Or they just for some reason want to fuck them and they have this weird hatred towards them. I think the only people that don't give them the respect are just fucking weirdos. And if anyone is like that listens to the gimmick, you don't need to listen. Like, they just had Evolution this weekend. I wasn't on it. Check it out. Espos and David broke it down, but phenomenal show. Maybe the best WWE pay-per-view of the year. And it was all women. So those are just weirdos and stuff. So, all right. And finally, Gunset also mentioned DCU is building to an event no one is expecting that Peacemaker 2 is building to as well. What do you think it is? Or is that just wanting people to watch Peacemaker season 2? I think it's a bit of that. I think there will be a building. I am interested because he literally said, again, don't know if this is a James Gunn Cody lie, but he said he doesn't want to talk about it because he doesn't. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Espo says, I think what Milk was talking about is woman of wrestling promotion. Correct me if I'm wrong. In that case, barely anyone has watched it. Oh, then I went on completely diatribe. And there you go. I have no idea what that is. So there you go. That's why. It's not big enough. So, but my old statements make sense. He says he's not revealing this event because he doesn't want people to steal the idea. Now, it might sound dumb, but when Warner Brothers announced BVS, Feige and the Russos changed Captain America 3 to Civil War. The Russos have said that they said, oh, they're doing that. They can't beat us to the punch. So James Gunn is been in the studio where they've literally been like, we can't let them beat them to us. What it is, I really don't know, because you couldn't say Justice League, right? Because like that's Avengers. It has to be some comic art, but I really don't know. But I think luckily, I don't think he's lying in that sense. Even if it's like a 1% little hint, he will hint towards it. But yeah, any ideas, Kirkland? And you think we'll get some stuff in Peacemaker, like he's saying, or you think James Gunn's just trying to promote a show?
Definitely, he's trying to promote the show. I think that's 100% given.
Next episode, GeekVerse, you're going to see something that you've never seen on any other podcast. Tune in Thursday.
Tune in, yeah. And don't be disappointed if it's something you have seen before.
Yeah, you might miss it. Gotta watch the video version. That's the only way you can see it.
We'll all be naked. That'll be the new edition. But
That's when you turn the lights all off again.
yeah, with my glasses. Then you can just see the reflection of everything. Like I think we'll be going into a bigger scale event, especially if the rumors are true from the man himself, and Peacemaker's going to be a bigger part, just to like kind of unshackle him into like the bigger sphere of just the potential threats. I feel like this could be a launching point into that direction. Like if it is the route that we were just talking about of like Peacemaker's going to be like a big figure stone, like, do you think we get season 3 of Peacemaker, or is it just he's a part of the big films now?
If viewers are there, for sure. It's a back and forth.
Okay.
Oh, I think Mike might have hit it nail on the head, which I was going to go that route too. My pitch was going to be, what if they're going to do like a Justice League versus Justice League, but they somehow got all the Snyder people back, and they were playing like evil versions. So like
Henry Cavill in there?
All of them. You get Batfleck, all of them. Like you do that, and you have them versus new one. But I think Superbad is
$1 billion film.
Maybe he's right saying, I'm hoping for Legion of Doom. We never got a proper super villain team up before. Mike probably knows this. I've been pitching this for years. That was my pitch to what the first Avengers after Endgame should be. An easy layup, establish a team, and they fight just, here's your bunch of villains together. The fact that we have been doing this for, I'm going to say in the pop culture, I'll say 2008 because that's when Iron Man started the universe. The fact there's been no comic book movie with villains teaming up as a big team like the Avengers to fight anybody. Like, how many times has it happened in animated stuff? Video games, it's never happened. It's so weird. I guess the only thing is maybe it's budgetary. Maybe that's why people that's a lot of money. But then, I don't know, pick some lesser known. But I agree with you. Maybe that's it, where you get that cool I love those posters. Imagine that poster where you got that Justice League and then you got Lex and all his goons, yeah. Yeah. We will see, but we'll end it there. We went longer, but thank you to everyone that tuned in. If you like what we do here, look on the YouTube, follow us, because we'll always post a schedule. We got our next newscast on Thursday. So we're talking about Fantastic Four predictions, what we've been watching, and anything else that's popped up. But yeah, thanks everyone in chat. This was a very fun time, very lively discussion. I think that's what the Superman movie is doing right now. Everyone has big opinions on it, and we're going to see. We're going to be talking about it not even next week, but the next few weeks. So obviously we got our movie draft, but the Superman box office and where it ends is going to be a very interesting conversation. Same as Fantastic Four, and same as Jurassic World. Right now it's over $500 million already. So it's trugging along. It's still, people love those dinosaurs, but will it hit $1 billion? I don't think so. So a big thank you to everyone in the chat. Big thank you to everyone that listens after the fact. And same thing, if you have some stuff you want to contribute to the conversation, you go to the YouTube, or down below is the Discord. And we're always in there talking about this very stuff, movie reviews, hot takes, stuff like that. There isn't even a wrestling channel in there, so do that. So yes, when you hear from us next, I promise you it'll not be